Okay. See if that actually works. I think we're back on YouTube now, hopefully. Pop out that chat. My computer it crashed like real hard. So hopefully that has changed the problem. Maybe. I think we're back on the air. Test. Okay. F's in chat for my computer. Nah, that's cool. I think we're good now. Okay, good. The depressed downward woman is my character, not the suggestion. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. I tried to restart, and my computer just took a nosedive. So it seems to be working now, which is good. So let me get back into Aggie. If I can actually draw today. Let me make sure everybody can be heard. Can you guys give me a hello in Discord? I don't think it's working. Nope, it's not working. Okay. We're almost there. We're almost done got it figured out. Discord audio, yes. Oh, that's very strange. It's very strange. I think it's good now. Give me a check.
Talk.
Hey, all right, we did it.
Hello.
All right, we are in business. We are back in business. Let's grab this. Put that over here. I can now start drawing a rugby. And I have the list pulled up. So we can actually draw all of these sweet character ideas. And we're back. Except that Pretzel Rock also exploded. So let's open that up. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Yes, okay, we can draw finally. Let's get some rugby going. Welcome to Friday, where exhausted rugby is a vibe. I feel like I've drawn him upside down. Just wanted him to be kind of lazy. Okay, music. Lights, cameras. This is it. Here we go. Okay, we're back. My next session is tomorrow. Nice. That's awesome. That is awesome. Quick check-in with everybody. My eyes slowly getting better, which is great. Went to the doctor yesterday and I could read some things, which was awesome. It's still hot garbage, but like it's getting better. so I have to be happy about that. I don't have to be, but I am happy about that. So that's good. Hopefully another month or so my vision will be back to normal, which makes me excited. We got a whole bunch of stuff. Yesterday I worked on the next character for a game that I'm doing the concept art for. So hopefully I'll have some cool 3D models of that soon. Yeah, that's it. That's the check-in. Videos in the works. I have 2 videos in the works right now. I have no idea when those are going to be finished, but they should be hopefully enjoyable. It's going to say we're missing the music. Yeah. Burning, welcome back. Thank you. Sorry about that delay, everybody. Very unprofessional. Computer. One of these days we'll have the YouTube money to buy like a sweet setup that it just doesn't have to deal with anything except YouTube. I don't know what I'm drawing, but this is like the weirdest rugby. We're gonna try again.
If you want to help Rook have the sweet, sweet setup that makes streaming better, like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. Buy that rugby merch. I don't have any rugby merch. I had a Redbubble store. I still do, I guess, that has some of the old stuff I've done on it. And then every now and again, someone will buy something from it. But like, they sent me a thing that was like, we're updating our terms of service and we're gonna start taking your money. And I was like, okay, I guess. Like, I don't know how to deal with this, so sure. Everybody is like changing the way that e-commerce works, and I have no idea if it's because of the way Patreon works or if because like creators are able to connect with each other. But like every Patreon itself is trying to like, we can make your stickers for you so you don't have to buy them. We can make your shirts for you. Redbubble's trying to get like, we're going to make a storefront so you can do all these other things and we'll take care of it. It's like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything anymore. So I have no idea how to set up a good store or a good system for like making merch. If anybody has suggestions, let me know. But that would be fun. I challenge you to say my favorite tongue twister. That feels like a trap, so I probably won't. I'd buy a rugby plushie. I would too. Like, a rugby plushie would be amazing. And I have no idea how to do that without just like going to Etsy and making like buying an individualized one that would be like $100. It's just like,
yeah.
So,
I mean, I still want to get you to the point where you can pay to have manufactured fake fur rugby rug hoodies with the rugby mask
absolutely
on the hood.
That's like my 100,000 subs goal, right?
Yeah.
10,000, I might do like a face cam thing. 100,000 rugby hoodie. That's the plan. So if you guys want the rugby hoodie, like, comment, subscribe.
Yep.
I think that's enough shameless plugging for today.
It's not just about the money, it's about the community, and we need the community so that you can have the money.
Yeah. It's a pretty good one. I probably need to do more tongue twisters and vocal warm-ups.
You're an asshole.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
A Game Grumps bit about just like
Stacey Dennings.
I hate Stacey Denny.
Wow,
no, it's just a vocal warm up. No.
Butt farts.
The thing that's funny about that bit is I feel like the Game Grumps are one of the few groups of people who could actually get away with that in a vocal recording booth.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like, it's really fun watching like Rhett and Link and the Game Grumps, because you don't normally see their crew.
Yeah.
But when you do, like, you can tell that they hire the people that are their sense of humor, and it's really funny. I've never really worked in a place like that. I've always been either like very ostracized, because I'm in person. I'm not super silly, but I can be. So like, if I find the right people that have the good sense of humor I like, like, we'll make jokes to each other and stuff in public. But like, most of the time when I work at a restaurant, people are just really serious and like kind of overly vulgar, and I'm just like, yeah, no. I'm good. It really is just you gotta find the people that are funny and that get you. But, make a good group. My cat's already here. That's good. So hopefully not getting bit yet. Norwin, welcome in. You're lurking. There you go. Get a little more rugby smile in there. He looks way too normal today. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, we do have quite a few suggestions today, so I'm excited about that. I do have some video stuff in the works, which I'm excited about. I have a whole bunch of people that want to play Pathfinder 2nd Edition right now, so I might be doing a bunch more content with that coming up. I have a very dry sense of humor, so I've had plenty of times where they just didn't mesh with the team I was working with. Yeah, I feel that.
My sense of humor swings wildly depending on how tired I am.
Yeah.
So you can basically tell how overworked I am by how little filter I have.
That's definitely.
And how much more obvious it is that I'm bisexual.
I get really what's the word? It's not sarcastic. Argumentative, maybe. Or I don't want to say aggressive, but like
not like punch drunk.
No, I just I get, I don't know how to say it. My humor becomes more directed at people when I get more tired.
You become more mean-spirited.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I get more and more mean-spirited the tired I get, until I'm just straight up sassy at people for no reason. And it's just like, why are you doing this? It's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm so tired.
Why are you mean to me?
Yeah. So
I haven't slept in 3 weeks.
I try not to do that. I try not to do that. I know probably both of you have been on the receiving end of that at some point.
No comment.
Fucking fight me, coward. I think that's hilarious, but no one else does, and that's fine. Puffin Force in his new video goes goodbye. Just like you had to double take. That's weird. Goodbye. What is that from? It's definitely from another YouTuber that I have stolen it. Okay, bye.
That's Simone Yatch.
Yep. 100%. Oh, Dan. It's Dan Avidan that says goodbye that way. Goodbye.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. Next time on Game Grumps. Oh, Bionic. Sorry about that. Okay, there's the rugby. I think we're good. I think we're good to jump into the characters. We have 11 today, so I'm going to roll a d12. If you've not suggested a character this week, feel free to do so in chat. We're going to roll some dice. We're going to draw some stuff. 5. A tiefling warrior with thick horns that arch above their heads. When the horns reach their back, turn into a shield? Interesting.
A tiefling turtle?
Yeah, I mean, it says reaches the back of their head, it turns into a shield the neck. So is it just like a big... I can do something with that. I think I can do something with that. Feels very Star Wars-y.
Yeah, it does, actually.
Wait, I better not. Disney will come after us and hang us by our pinky toes.
They're fighting with Florida right now, so they probably wouldn't notice me.
Yeah, they have bigger fish to fry. Not that Ron DeSantis is actually a particularly big fish. He just wishes he was.
Burn.
Okay, so I just found the hairstylist in Final Fantasy.
Nice. He's a bit much.
He's very.
Every time
His aesthetic reminds me of David Bowie.
yeah, a little bit. I have a summoning bell for him in my apartment. And so every time I walk in there and I accidentally click it instead of clicking on the retainer bell, they do the cutscene of him just like kicking in the door, and it's like, no, I didn't want this. Stop. Who's being drawn next? I don't know. We're drawing a tiefling with horns. A horned tiefling.
A turtle shellback?
I don't know if it's a turtle shell, but like apparently it's at least the neck. The horns cover the neck, so I think that's a good place to start.
I'm just starting with a myconid, switching up how I do their faces a little bit.
Horns are hard.
Horns are hard.
This is a tough one to start with, so maybe we'll do a bunch of little horn sketches to try to figure out what we're doing here. That's mine. Nice. I have to figure out how horns work again. It's like
it's just horns are just a lot of planes that you have to figure out how to follow through all of their foreshortening.
Yep. The D&D tieflings basically like horns start at the temple, which I think is interesting. I really like that, and Diablo kind of plays with that too a little bit. I think it's interesting to see artists kind of default the same few types of horns, which is supposed to be kind of type things for the neck of my character. See, now, like when you say that, do they start at the front and wrap around the neck? Or is it just that they have like horned plates? Because that would make way more sense for shielding. But like they have a hard time not having thick curled horns. There's so many cool types of horns. I really like the kind of bigger, bulkier ones. Jonas used to draw really, really cool horns.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from him. But there's also a handful of like elk horns or deer horns are also very different.
Yeah, I always default to ibex horns, which are a type of mountain goat.
Yeah.
I also like bighorn sheep, though I don't draw those as often.
Allie Briggs does some amazing dragon horns.
Oh my gosh, yes. I love. She was drawing a dragon one time on stream, and it seriously looked like the muzzle was like carved stone or shaped horn. It was really badass. And I was like, oh, I wish I knew how to do that.
Yeah, she does some amazing stuff. I would plug her channel, but I don't know if she actually posts anything on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Go check out Allie Briggs on Twitch sometime.
On Twitch, yeah.
Man, I can't draw faces today. I've been stalled out and stumped by the first one. So that's awesome. We're gonna figure it out. I think I've drawn the nose too high. And I've like squinched the face. I've discovered what I've done. Okay. A little bit of a pointy nose. Because tiefling, but... We're going to get this figured out. All right, so the horns have to cross the neck. So I think we're going to do something like this. We're almost going to go like Twi'lek style. There's a name for the Twi'lek horns, and I can't remember what they're called.
And don't ask me, I'm not that invested in Star Wars universe stuff.
It starts with an L. Let's see. Go from the temple to the back of the head. And then back to the front? Okay, yeah. Random thought. Why do people seem to think that you can only play one tabletop RPG system? Like, I quit D&D for Pathfinder, or I'm quitting Pathfinder to go back to D&D. Like, play multiple groups? Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of people maybe only have time for one.
Yeah.
I used to, at one point in time, I was playing like 4 or 5 games a week, which like 2 or 3 of them was for the channel. But now I'm playing in 3 games, and each one is like a week apart from each other. So one week I'll play one game, and then maybe on Saturday, and then the next week I'll play the other group, and then maybe on Saturday again. So it's like, even with that, I've played D&D and Pathfinder. Like, I don't have a problem playing multiple systems at the same time. When I'm DMing 2 systems at the same time, I definitely screw up and say the wrong thing all over and over again.
Same.
So
Constantly calling for insight instead of sense motive or whatever.
It's really funny because I have a few friends that only play D&D, and so I'll ask for like a reflex save, and they're just like, "Oh, what?" And I'm like, "It's a dexterity save." It's just like, come on. Yeah, Liku, there we go.
Yeah. I also think, I think that I have at least one friend who's like, every time we change systems, he's kind of completely lost because he works way too much, way too hard, and like the one time we get to play D&D a week is kind of his like sanity recharge time. So he doesn't have time to invest in learning a bunch of different systems. So if we switch, then he basically has to rely on everybody else at the table to understand how exactly to play the game, and that can get kind of frustrating. So I think time and mental energy input is another reason why people might feel like they can only
That's fair. Yeah, sometimes
invest in one.
Especially, I know, like, when I was doing all those games, like, it was I've talked about this a little bit more as well. Like, I'm a kind of an introvert, and so like I was just like, I would be emotionally drained after, or socially drained after playing those games, because it's just like I need my alone time, regardless of what setting it is. It's just like sometimes more than one game a week is a lot.
Yeah.
I would love to see a short female be like Thrycreen. One of those where arm's missing. Yeah, we can add that to the list. You can put that on there, Victor. No problem. Nora, hello. Because people have families, colleges, and jobs. That's fair too. Like, D&D YouTubers or so on, they admit they play 3+ groups. Yeah, it's pretty common. But really, like, I do spend like 1 day a week just working on D&D stuff, which if I was, back working at the restaurant, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like,
yeah,
that's very much, making tokens, making tiles, setting things up for people.
Man, you remember when Jonas told us he was playing 10 games a week?
Yeah.
Oof, that was like, part of me was jealous, and but mostly my brain was like, oof, that is too much.
I think he got a little burnt out too, which is reasonable for that.
Yes. Also probably part of why he kind of disappeared for a while.
I get if people are in one group, but it's funny for people who do RPGs as a job. Yeah, and the other thing about that is like, even now, like, I play Pathfinder more. I still play 5e, but for the most part, I'll just say D&D. Like, that's colloquially what people understand, and so it's easier just to say that. But many people also only play one MMO or play one genre of music. That's a good thing too. Yeah, like, I play a lot of MMOs in a lot of different games, but a lot of my friends will only play one at a time, just because they, like I said, only have the capacity for one at a time. So yeah, just kind of is. The horns cover the neck. Are they not covering the neck in this situation? Like, I don't wanna get too nitpicky, but I think this is pretty good. Horns come together and then wrap around the front. Can even make it a little more. Curved, I guess.
I'm feeling really good about my understanding of anatomy right now, and I'm terrified to do the hands because I know that's where it's going to fall apart.
Then focus on the hands then.
I've drawn 4 in a dynamic pose, like in my sketch, so I kind of need to. I'll figure it out, or maybe I won't. Like this is just the mush boy is just for me, right? So it doesn't have to be perfect.
Felix lore is kind of nuts, to be honest. Lots of abuse. Yeah, if I remember right, like their original culture was very passive, like pacifistic, and so they were like the huts and stuff just took advantage of them like crazy. So it wasn't until the Clone Wars when they started fighting back, and there's some really cool Twi'lek heroes, like heroes and legends of the people that fought in the Clone Wars to kind of free the Twi'lek people. Twi'lek and Rylek, I think, because there's two it doesn't matter. I love the Clone Wars. It's great. Star Wars lore is really fun.
Also, like, really horrific. Understanding a little bit more Star Wars lore, I became both kind of surprised and shocked how big a thing slavery is in that setting.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing they talked about with like through the cartoons, basically using droids as droids and clones, like trying to understand humanity through there, which I really like. I really like that kind of deeper commentary, even if you're putting it into kids shows, because then it's like, I like R2D2. Why are people mean to him? It's like, that's a great question. Like, that's a good way to teach kids about
because people think that he was built to be a servant.
Yep.
And I mean, arguably he was.
Maybe it's just the clickbait title. I quit D&D, gets more clicks than I'm doing Pathfinder on Sundays now. Yeah, that's fair. I thought about making one of those. I might have even posted one of the things is like, Pathfinder is better than D&D, but I was talking about that. And I've constantly tried to keep myself from being like, D&D sucks, because like that's not true. I still play D&D. D&D's fine.
Yeah. I still prefer Pathfinder, but like I preferred Pathfinder before all of the fiasco. So
yeah, I mean, and that's why a lot of my videos, especially my early videos, are a lot more Pathfinder characters. Or Pathfinder classes and stuff. Use the Pathfinder words. Do you guys have any holiday plans? Holiday plans? Uh-oh. What holiday am I missing? What day is it? April?
I don't know.
There is no holiday. Not until the end of May.
Oliver, what holiday are we talking about?
There was Easter.
Easter did happen, yeah.
Easter, right.
There's a reason the old universe is the RPG canon. Yeah. R2D's a jerk, though. A little bit, yeah. But he's an old, war-torn, grumpy old man.
Yeah. He's allowed to be a little bit sassy after everything that he's seen.
3PO doesn't know anything. He doesn't remember. But yeah. R2's got that Clone War PTSD.
3PO has had his memory wiped repeatedly. R2 never did.
I think he might have
probably
once.
Because
but you still, yeah.
Communicate in like actual words, so it's like we don't have to worry about him spilling secrets. Unlike C3PO.
I mean, isn't in the Clone Wars series, wasn't there like a whole big fiasco about how Anakin refused to
Yeah. Yep.
delete R2's data banks, and
Which is
people
really
were like,
funny because like he
yeah,
built 3PO and he doesn't care about 3PO.
yeah.
R2 is great. R2 is a good character.
3PO also comes with some heavy emotional baggage though, because he didn't build 3PO for himself. He built 3PO to help his mother
Yeah.
in her language translation duties, right?
Something like that. Sorry, a holiday is English for vacation. If that was unclear. Oh, like summer vacation? Okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Vacation plans are always the same. It's pretty good. I remember one summer when I was young. I got like a huge Lego set, like just a box of random Legos, and that's all I did for the summer. I remember summer starting. I remember dumping the Legos out on my floor, and then summer was over. Like that's all I remember doing that summer.
That sounds
And
awesome.
I was like, wow, whoa.
Yeah, vacation does not exist for me. Never been on one. Never really wanted to go on one.
I mean, part of that probably has to do with the fact that your family are farmers, and so there's
Yeah.
never an end to work.
Yeah, a lot of my
Yeah, during
vacations
the
as a
summer.
kid was like helping my grandparents on their farm. Like, that was a lot of that.
Yeah.
I remember going to like Craters of the Moon, just like a bunch of lava tubes in Idaho. That was interesting.
Mm.
But I never went to like Disneyland or anything. I never did anything that special until I was in my 20s.
I had family in California, so we went to visit my grandparents and my mom's family once a year. Stayed with them. And we would usually go to Disneyland because my grandparents were kind of big fans of just kind of letting loose.
That's kind of the thing to do if you live in California.
Totally.
Yeah, a lot of my vacations as a kid was just like going to see family because I have a lot of family. We're going camping. We go camping quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Disneyland was kind of fun, but I'm pretty sure the primary purpose of our travel to California was family reunion shit.
I think that's pretty common. I want to do something fancy with the hair here, but I can't figure out how to parse the hair and the horns. There's a lot going on here. Maybe I don't need to because the horns are coming out of the forehead. Do a little bit like that. Quite lucky I'm going to a cruise this summer. Nice. I've never been on a cruise.
Me neither.
Sure.
I've also kind of never like wanted to go on a cruise, so have fun. It's I know it's the type of thing that a lot of people enjoy. I'm way too introverted now to think that I would enjoy that.
My family was big movie goers. That was kind of a thing we did. Like we'd get together and go to a movie, like go to the dollar movies or something on Wednesdays. That was a fun thing we did during the summer. But yeah, vacations. I don't know. Camping. That would be what we did for holidays. Which I would still do. That would be fun. Haven't been in a while.
I love backpacking.
See, I don't like backpacking because it just feels like you're going somewhere to walk, and I don't want to walk. I want to go somewhere and relax. I've never been on like a backpacking trip, so.
I
is a cool stash.
I may enjoy backpacking because walking is really good for relieving my specific variety of chronic pain.
Nice. Bionic Nora says, in case of D&D YouTubers, it's probably because they're riding the bandwagon and don't actually want to deviate to the easy money machine. I mean,
in a case of maybe.
Yeah, I think the whole sensationalism of D&D is bad is kind of where a lot of that comes from.
Yeah. And like D&D as a game is not bad. WotC just made a big oopsie.
Stephen's giving me Michael Keaton Batman vibes. Nice. I like Rook. Oh wait, I read that wrong. I like Rook, period. Usually pretty chill and doesn't bandwagon. I'm very anti-bandwagon, I guess. Like to a point where it's detrimental to my success. And I don't know if I'm just lazy or I think it is that I'm too much of a hipster. Because like I really like Critical Role and I like a lot of their stuff, but like I did 1 or 2 fan arts for them and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. It feels weird. Even though like that would be a way to grow my channel is if I just started doing more fan art.
Yeah.
It's also why I dragged my feet to do YouTube shorts. But like, I don't know. There's some aspects of the business side of YouTube. Because I got to make that money. That I just kind of have to do some of those things. So I don't know. I am either a very bad entrepreneur business person or just a grungy hipster. So
maybe both.
Maybe both. If you like me being myself, like, comment, subscribe. I think everybody in the chat has probably already commented and subscribed.
Probably.
I know a bunch of tabletop RPGs, but it's mostly from my early to late teenage years. Nice. Just do YouTube shorts drawing Critical Role characters' feet. Easy money. Probably. I can't sub twice. True. Both is good. Snake facts? Yeah, I mean, we can take a snake fact. Kind of want to make this Stephen a little more sharp.
Sierra just went live on Twitch. I haven't seen Sierra in forever. What was that?
Da 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 da.
I have to have this on in my other ear.
Yeah, that's fine.
The like button and destroyed that bell.
I think I'm gonna roll the next one. I think I'm done with this. Smash that like button. Destroy the bell is pretty good. I like destroy the bell. And that's why sharks are older than trees. I missed the fact, didn't I? What was the fact?
No.
Kira, you came in with a fact that I think is true and I want to agree with, but I want more info. Why is it that I started playing in a D&D group and after like 4 months I'm the one running it? Forever DM. Yeah, I have that problem. Like I'm an introvert, but I'm definitely an introvert, but I very much also like being in control of the situation. So, and I feel like to the chagrin of Lars, like Lars is the other person that DMs all the time for us. And I constantly, like, whenever he DMs, I'm just like, I should get a safety roll there. That should be a reflex save. What are you doing? And so I constantly, like, when Lars DMs, I'm like, I gotta shut up. I gotta shut up and just enjoy it. Because otherwise I am just a forever DM. So I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I like, maybe I brag about my table too much, but I love my table. Everybody, almost everybody at my table likes to take turns DMing.
All right, let's roll the dice here. We got 11 left. Wait, I thought we had 11 left. Did I not? Oh, we added some. I accidentally erased one. Redo. There we go. Okay, delete row. There we go. We have 10. We have 10. These are these. 3.
At the rate I am going on this mic, and you might basically be drawing alone.
An Ifrit bugbear. I've been waiting for this one. This is a good one. How am I going to do this? I want them to just be on fire. Snake fact. Okay, here's the snake fact. The stiletto snake is odd in the fact that you can't handle them safely. Well, probably because they have a knife, right? They can strike you with their mouth close up to a 270-degree angle, and their venom can cost you finger or hand. Wow. I didn't think there were any venomous snakes that were necrotic like that. Is that? That surprises me.
I don't think so either.
But maybe it's not necrotic. Maybe it's just like the reaction is so violent that it can cause you to lose a finger. That would make sense.
Yeah, because like the fierce snake basically causes hyper blood clots, right?
I was watching something that I think might have been a Hank Green short talking about snake bites or spider bites, and apparently there's like, while spiders can kill you if you have a weakened immune system or like you're old or a child, there aren't many spiders that are actually like considerably lethal to humans. Like in most situations you won't die from a spider bite.
Yeah.
I think was what they were saying. So it takes like extenuating circumstances for it to become a problem. Like with brown recluses, like if they bite you and you don't clean it or go to the hospital, it can lead to a pretty nasty infection. But it's not like you just die directly from the bite. So
yeah,
that makes me feel better about spiders because I've been bitten by a lot of spiders in my day.
Same.
I just see all the horns that Hatchet posted. Thank you. Sorry I didn't see that. Cytotoxins. Okay, yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
I forget, it wasn't important.
Sorry.
I was just jumping on the bandwagon.
No, most marine life is
gallery.
older than many things on land. Sharks would beat trees by about 30 million years, and with that, even older. Some rings of Saturn. Nice. Should I make the ears on fire? I found an old sketch of my the Minotaur I did for the sentient weapon video I did. How to play a sentient weapon. And I forgot that I made the Minotaur's hair on fire, and I found that sketch and I was like, oh, that's so badass. I love finding sketches that are like years old because I forget about them.
Yeah.
Connor says, I wish I could hop on more often. Sadly, it's always away from the computer on this day at this very same time. Sorry, yeah, we do it at the same time every day. Eventually, I want to do once a month like a community day where we actually just hang out in Discord and draw together. And I won't be streaming that because I want to keep that basically free from the limits of YouTube so we can just hang out and do whatever and talk and not worry about the algorithm. So I need to put up a poll about like when it would be the best time to do that for people, but I think we're going to try to do that more. I love my group, and in a couple there's other who DM. Oh, a couple of your groups, but I'm the main one. Nice. Dun, dun, dun. Imagine a mushroom with spider legs. That's pretty good. I like mushroom spiders. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. A boom. Oh, this music is so chill. This is what we need today. Boom, 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 boom. I hate to be that guy, but horned vipers in Norway and Scandinavia and the western indigo snake in the US can survive very well at room temperature. Like room temperature cold? It's a huge badonkadonks. Huge badonkadonks. What did I miss? Large orc lady with a large gun sword. Is that your suggestion? Or is that just you hanging out in Final Fantasy again?
Can it not be both?
I mean, it can be both, but you could just be like shouting out the things, youting out. Youting should be the new thing. It's like yeeting out a sentence. I just youted that.
Oh, I'm not playing anymore.
Okay.
Because it would slow everything down. Me trying to watch your stream and play. So
Priorities. Get through ARR.
I am totally ready to adopt youting though.
Youting sounds pretty good.
Yeeting a sentence. Yes.
You just gotta yout it.
Better
Yout
word than word vomit.
Yeah. Yout it to the hilltops.
Bionic. I have saw the same weird trend in D&D memes as well of like anti-monarchy. I was like, where's this coming from?
Talking about how to delete monarchies. My last game literally had a group putting the young emperor back on the throne after a coup stole power from him. I'm betting it's art imitates life.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of weird, creepy authoritarian crap going around.
Yeah.
Because less. Go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
There are some monarchies that do actually work, but they are few and far between, and we actually don't ever hear about them. I think Jordan is fairly functional.
That's not a real place. You're making that up.
Their king is kind of odd though. Odd in like kind of a cool way. Like he's kind of like. How should I say it? He's kind of like a folk hero anymore because he's like he served in the military while he was reigning on the throne.
Yeah.
Fighting the terrorists in the area. It's like,
no, as I understand it, every single member of the royal family is expected to take on a large public works project. Like they are supposed. Every member of the royal family is supposed to be engaged with actively serving the people, and if they don't, then I don't know what the consequences are, but there are consequences.
Where can we get the sketches from Lasts and other streams? So all of the sketches are put up on the Discord under the hashtag Discord and Draw. So you can go and check those out if you'd like. There should be a link down in the comments down in the comments, but down in the description to get onto the Discord. If not, let me know. If it's not working, I'll let you know. Is the one drawing the character on the right also doing this suggestion box, or is it just drawing what they feel like? So Druid is a guest.
Yep.
Can do whatever Druid wants.
I usually try to help out with the suggestions, but I always start with a weird myconid, and I haven't moved past it yet. So we'll see.
Yeah. So in the past, you have drawn some of the suggestions, but Druid is not beholden to the rules of the game.
Yeah. I like to participate with the character suggestions because I think it's really good drawing practice. In fact, if you guys are trying to learn how to draw, I totally suggest you also roll on the table and draw along with us. But yeah, I'm moving slowly today because I'm this is turning out kind of comic booky in a way that's kind of really appealing to me. So
yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep noodling on my thing until I feel like I'm done, and then I'm totally gonna move on to, assuming there's any time left.
Yeah.
I'm totally gonna move on and start drawing prompts as well.
And I'm just here to add commentary.
Yeah, it's important to have a Stantler and Waldorf.
Yeah.
Because there are moments where Rick and Drew will get in the zone and just ends up quiet, and I need to fill the space.
I mean, you don't have to, but you do, and it's appreciated.
Well, I know some people might feel awkward, like they're not saying anything. What's happening? Is the stream stopped? It's like, no.
That has happened.
You're in the zone.
Yeah, that has happened. Yep.
Let's see what we got in chat here. Playing in an entirely queer D&D group. Monarchies don't last long. Okay. My queer D&D group was flirting with the poor emperor the whole time. His royal guards hated it. I like that. That's super good. Are your guest sketches also on Discord? Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
I think Druid's you're pretty consistent about uploading them.
Yeah.
But I've had a few. We used to just open up the Discord and draw to anybody on the Discord, and so there's a handful of times when people would come in and draw and just that's it. So I'm not requiring Druid post any of his stuff. But beyond that, there's definitely I like to give my art away to the Discord and draw there, so people can use it for their tokens and stuff and for their home games. Yeah. But I don't want to require that. So if Druid ever does post something that you don't want to share, you're very welcome to not do that. So, but we stopped doing that because then people were asking can I use their stuff? And it's I don't know who they are. I can't ask them to give their stuff up, and so it's then I have to fill out disclosure forms, and we have since stopped that. So now it's just me and Druid and a handful of other mods from the Discord that join me in the draws. So that's why I want to do a community day where people can just hang out and draw, because I do like drawing with the Discord, but the legality of that is constantly changing and strange and confusing. So is the age of nuking evil rulers and helping good rulers really that far in the past? I mean, I think that's a pretty consistent theme for D&D, is kind of overthrowing the evil government, evil monarchy. I was tempted to join the voice chat in Discord. Yeah, so you're able to join the voice chat if you want. It is locked. So you can listen in if you want, but we have it muted for everybody except the mods. For the same reason. I don't want people who aren't aware or don't want to have their voice on YouTube. I have to do disclosures and stuff for that, so it's much easier to not do that as an open thing. I've also had people just come into the voice chat and scream, which is you know what? We're not going to do that. So
yep.
The Emerald Tree Boa is a beautiful also. Yeah. I want this mushy boy and his staff for a Dark Sun campaign. That sounds pretty good.
Well,
it's nice. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I can tell you right now that I will post it. So if you want, when it's done, if you want it, you can use it.
There's definitely I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Good.
I didn't have anything really important to say, and then So I seeded the talking stick. And I just completely lost what I was talking about.
Pass me the magic conch.
Yep. Oh, I really like when you do have the time to spend and like really put some detail into this. Like, it's nice, which is kind of the downside to trying to do so many drawings.
Yeah, they tend to not all have the same. My drawings tend to not all have the same level of detail. I get invested in one thing usually, and then I get one really good drawing, and then a couple like mediocre drawings. I'm loving this. I want to say furball. I'm loving your drawing. Your
The bugbear,
bugbear. Yes.
the flame bird.
I went through every single other member of the goblinoid family in my head.
What are the fire
And
goblins
couldn't
called?
find it. I don't actually know.
Are there?
There is every type of goblin.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Monkey goblins are my favorite.
I love the idea that monkey goblins exist because goblins got trapped on desert islands and they just evolved to be monkeys.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a thing. That's not how that works. But I love it. It's like, I feel like if you put one on a ship, it would either become a rat goblin or just a pirate goblin. Like, both of those things are they like evolve thematically to fit their theming.
Or
Goblins are basically the Eevee Pokemon of the D&D world.
Yep. You got the highest grade possible on your chemistry test today. Nice job, Oliver.
Awesome.
Great job.
I'm really impressed with that because I like chemistry, but I am not good at it. I failed my high school chemistry 3 times.
Wow.
So no, twice, and then I barely passed the 3rd time.
Are Yordle goblins or gnomes in Pathfinder? I would say Yordles are goblins that played too much League of Legends, and they just they slowly became the other.
Sounds legit to me.
I think I'm gonna go kind of creepy and dark on this one.
Yes.
I'm gonna make this bugbear's arm on fire. And what I mean by that is legit just arm of fire. What are people's plans for the weekend?
I'm asleep a lot, probably.
That's pretty good.
Probably play Minecraft.
The Minecraft.
I do want to hang out in Final Fantasy with you guys again. My character is not progressing.
It's okay. This is something my friends are wanting to get back into WoW because the new expansion's coming out. Not the new expansion, the new patch is coming out next week. And so it's like, okay, cool, yeah, we'll go do that. But I don't expect that they will spend a lot of time hanging out with us. They really like to just like blast through the content, which is totally legitimate. Like that's a fun way to do it. Do the same thing with like Diablo 3, right? It's just like new season. Let's do the season, hit the achievements, and then put it away. It's like cool. But with Final Fantasy, like you can't do that. Final Fantasy is essentially a long-term RPG, and so like I'm just fun. I have fun hanging out with people as they're playing the storyline, right? Like it's a completely different style of play. So I've had a few people try to play it with me, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm holding you guys up. I don't want to make you guys." It's like, no, we're just hanging out. Like there's nothing wrong with just hanging out in Final Fantasy and looking fly. like that's there's enough stuff in that game that if someone is like, I need to stay in this cutscene for 20 minutes, it's like, cool, I'm gonna go play cards or something with this other stuff. Like never feel like you're holding people down.
So basically how I felt last night as we were going through my first dungeon.
Oh no, you did fine. There was nothing wrong. We felt like we were going too fast. We're like, oh, we need to let you actually like experience this and look around because
It's like, oh god, there's so many people. I can't click on the enemies.
we need to get you like a separate keyboard or mouse or something.
No. Like, I have a mouse. It's just like an actual like corded mouse and everything.
Yeah, but like using a laptop is not fun. So the few times that I have played like WoW or Final Fantasy on my laptop, I'll get my keyboard from another computer and plug it in so I can like have my hand away from the center of the screen. And it feels way better. So
yeah. I probably should bind because I have 2 buttons on the sides.
I have one of those bound for auto walk on mine.
Yeah.
Which is really nice, but the other people, like I'm an avid clicker. Like I have my UI set up so I can click on everything with the mouse, and that like drives my friends up the wall when they play it. They're like, no, you should be using the keyboard for everything. And I'm like, I don't like that. I'm gonna use the mouse. So one of my friends 3D printed a model of a grimoire for my character. Nice. That's really cool. I did 1 year for Christmas. What I did, because we were playing lots of Magic the Gathering, went to a thrift store and I bought a whole bunch of old encyclopedias, and I hollowed them out and turned them into Magic the Gathering grimoires. So I put the color sigil on the front of them and like bound them in leather. That was really fun. So
Fancy.
Yeah.
I've been looking at fire goblins and
Nice.
I'm not.
You not seeing anything?
I mean, I just know that Pathfinder goblins love fire, so there's like a fire tamer goblin, and there's a fire bomber alchemist for goblins.
I really thought there was like a magma goblin or something.
There are like methods, which are basically elemental goblins.
That's true, yeah. Yep. But those are more elementals than it feels. Burning says, Corvus, I'm a bit late, but I agree. I felt bad going so fast. I felt like I was rushing it. Yeah, so like we don't want to rush you. We want you to enjoy the game at your speed. Because like we've done that dungeon 1,000 times, right? So yeah, we're just like, you want to bum rush through this? You want to finish this in 4 minutes? We're gonna do it in 4 minutes. So yeah, if we ever feel like we're rushing you, you can tell us to slow down. That's totally legitimate.
Ooh. Sorry. Sneezing a lot today.
It's bad. Yeah, I woke up and my eyes were swollen. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, same.
Everything where I'm at is in bloom. I am really happy for my HEPA filter right now.
Yeah.
I actually got a like weather advisory of like high pollen on my phone. It's like, oh jeez. For the past week, my eyes have just been not really swollen, but just constantly leaking. It's like,
man,
watery
out. Yeah, I bought like we had a really bad year or two ago. Everything was on fire. And here in Washington, it went gray. Like you could barely see across the street, and everything was just smoke. So so we bought some air filters after that, and like it's made a huge difference. Like all last year was great comparatively, and I was like, nice, I like that. So I'm really happy to get those.
Yeah. I think we actually got haze from those big forest fires.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Which really does surprise me. It's like, how did they get over the Rockies?
Yeah, it was bad.
Because it was just like a lot haze over everything. I was like,
If the smoke gets up into the jet stream, then the mountains don't really interfere that much.
That's true.
Yeah.
So working on an art project to help getting independence of the ethnic group colonized by Russia this weekend. Nice. I think I follow what you're saying. Good. Yeah, I really like the what do you want to call that? Using your art to help people. is awesome. Like whenever you can do that.
My
Help social groups. That doesn't sound quite right what I'm trying to say, but that's what I'm trying to say.
I had a housemate when I was in Virginia, and they were going to a art school in Maryland, and apparently they have like a program for like what they refer to as community art.
Yeah.
And so they were doing a lot of like, only way I can describe it is like activism art.
Yeah.
And like setting up art programs.
How tall are Dragonborn supposed to be? My guy's 7'3". That sounds right.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're playing, because like if you're looking at, I like Dragonborns. I think they can be large size creatures, but medium size has like a defined, like medium is this to this, and so like turtles fit in there because they're that high. But it's like, no, turtles should be large because they're massive. Like they're just
because
massive.
They weigh a fucking half a ton.
Yeah. So I think height, weight, and like bulk are all things that can affect your medium or large size of a creature. And so I'm not really set on anyone being correct. You want to be a really tall human? Cool. If you want to be a large sized human, like that's going to be weird. but I'm fine with that stuff. So
yeah, I like Dragonborns to be medium or large, like on the smaller side of large. Same with orcs.
Orcs, I like orcs being large size too.
Yeah, and I mean, Minotaurs should only be large size.
See, I like that too, but people in the comments keep saying that, oh, Minotaurs are small. And I'm like, well, they're small, but because it's a person. It's supposed to be a person body with a ox head is their argument. So it should be a normal sized human, and then they're slightly taller because they have cow head. And it's like I think if you have a cow head, you got to be pretty big and bulky. Otherwise, yeah. So I'm on the fence.
Like, if you have a cow head, you have to have a cow neck. Especially if you're going to be able to walk, you basically have to have a cow neck. And if you're gonna have a cow neck, you have to be real fucking beefy because. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Nope, I shouldn't get mad at it. But I don't know. The way I break down the anatomy, I just think it makes sense.
I am sorry I'm one of those people.
It's fine. You can be wrong if you want.
For me,
the sass happens now.
For me, it's because the setting that the Minotaurs are from, they're not monstrous humanoids. They're kind of just normal citizens in the area. It's like, okay, so they're probably going to be more medium. But also,
so like, are you talking about actual Minoan paintings, or are you talking about the
setting for D&D that Minotaurs were statted for as a player ancestry?
I don't care about that.
Yeah. I mean, I know you don't, but also going back to Dragonborn Hot, I kind of like that of like shorter, squat Dragonborn, like the medium size of like a dwarf, so about like 5 foot. I don't know. I think that's kind of nifty.
Your accent betrayed you there, and I totally thought you said going back to Dragonborn's hot, and I was like, what?
Height.
Yeah, height. No, I got it. I totally thought you were saying Dragonborns were hot.
I mean, they are.
I just thought that was funny.
Objective.
I need to pause a minute, and we need to talk about how sexy Dragonborn are. No large-sized halflings? I mean, that's just a person.
Yeah.
It's just a person.
With hairy feet.
I have hairy feet. I'm just a person.
Kira, I don't know Buryat Beard yet. I don't know that word. I'm sorry. I assume it's a country.
Beirut?
Beirut? Is that how you say Beirut? I've never seen that word written before.
Let me. I'm trying to find it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. And in order for people, for our peoples, we need our countries to know what's happening. It's basically what I do to get attention. Yeah, and I can't remember the word I'm saying, but I really do appreciate when people use their art to kind of make people socially aware of things. And I think that's great. So,
it's not Beirut. It's I am going to actually mispronounce it, but there are people in far eastern Siberia around Lake Baikal.
Okay. Yeah, I do apologize. I'm not sure how to pronounce that properly, but
Burets?
If you do have a correction for that, please let us know.
Yes.
So yeah, I want to be able to support people in those kind of things, but I also try to keep the channel non-political, and so it's like it's selfish of me to do that for sure. But if you do want to post something in the Discord, we do have a place for specifically for like helpful links where people can learn about that kind of stuff. And if you want to post something for like helplines or whatever, please feel free to do so. And try to support you as best we can. With Minotaurs, I'd go with the depicted in Greek myth of Minos. So the Minotaur was about 10 feet tall. Was he?
Yeah.
Because 10 feet tall is like, even with just a regular dude body, that's tall.
Some hardcore JRPG music's playing in my ears now.
I think it's kind of important too to remember that, like, with even when we're looking at mythology, there's really no such thing as a canonical, like, this is how it was.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I don't know, as far as I'm aware, and this could totally be inaccurate, but the story of the Minotaur is basically anti-Minoan Island propaganda.
Sure. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Or maybe it's anti-Athenian propaganda based on
the queen
on
likes
how
to boink the things. It's like, all right, stop it.
Yep.
Minotaurs are political too.
Yeah. So
yeah.
the important thing is not to get caught up on this is how it actually was. The important thing is to be like, this is how I think it should be, and this is how I want to play my games. And if everybody at the table agrees, then we're golden.
Yeah,
right.
And I think that's a good point. Like, rules is written, just take it with a grain of salt. Like, play it the way you think it's fun. I think is a good way to sum it up. If someone could use fire magic in real life, would it burn their hands and arms every time they would feel, or would they feel nothing? That's subjective, because I've seen both depicted. And there's the one guy in what is it, the Venture Bros, where the Johnny Blaze, is that right? The character that's supposed to be one of the Fantastic Four, he's just constantly on fire, so they have to like leave him in a coma so he's not lighting himself on fire.
Oof.
And then there's Ghost Rider, who just burns off all of his skin until he's a skeleton every time, but then it just comes back. So. Afternoon, folks. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he is almost like a weird cursed undead.
Yep. I would think they would burn themselves, but eventually they're burning themselves so much that they stop feeling it. I mean, like, but that's destructive, right? So, like, if you're controlling magic, Dresden talks about this a little bit. Like, it depends on if you want to have a real system where they are controlling how fire is created, or if fire is part of their essence. So, like, I think that's a good way to look at it. If it's part of their body, it shouldn't hurt them unless they, like, I don't know, burn too hot or something, or light something on fire that blows up. Like, there's a big difference between just being immune to fire and having fire spells, right? So really, it's just you need to define how your spells work. Because if you have a wand of fireball, you could probably hurt yourself with that. But if you are a living fireball, you're probably not hurting yourself. So
yeah, based on some of the books I've read, the way I kind of prefer to look at it is that, like, the protecting yourself from the magic you cast should be part of this spell. And like the reason why it takes so long to learn spells is that like you have to learn all of the proper ways to do it so that it doesn't blow up in your face.
Yeah, insulating yourself from the spell. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know, like that is something that Dresden I think talks about.
Yeah.
Which you just kind of touched on. But like I've also seen it. Was it the Terry Pratchett book series? I can't even remember which book series this was from. It's been so long since I read it. But like the idea was that like a mage got into trouble because they were playing with forces they didn't quite understand. And the point was magic wants to happen. Like magic is basically potential energy. So if it can be released like water in a dam breaching a dam wanting to flow downhill, it will. So you have to be really, really, really careful about how you about how you release the energy, about how you access the energy that is magic. Otherwise spells can do all sorts of weird shit. And I think that's kind of part of what the wild magic system is trying to get to, but I don't like we've had this conversation before. I don't particularly enjoy how it's been implemented because it feels either like too low stakes or too just
random.
kind of stupid stakes. Yeah.
Because I really like that concept too. Like chaos magic. Wild magic to me should be a magic running away, and just like not being able to control or not understand how to control it. So I think that should be its own thing in its own right. But whatever. I rolled an 8, so I'm going to do a rabbit folk with a warlock of a fiend patron. So a demon bunny. We can do a demon bunny.
Shut pointed teeth.
What's currently being drawn? Druid is still on the warm up mushroom, and
Yep.
I'm gonna draw a bunny now, but it was a Ifrit bugbear. You would think that we'd burn yourself, but eventually, we already did that one. Sorry. He had half ox torso also, and most incredible legs you've ever seen. So the OG Minotaur is absolutely huge in every way. All right, fair enough. See, I've heard other stories, so I do think it's kind of, I don't want to say subjective because there's obviously correct stories that have been written, but it's been translated and stuff in different ways. So
yeah, and like it's passed around so much that it's hard to tell what was maybe the original.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I use Supergiant Hades lore over actual mythology. That's a fair way to do it. That's what I do too. There's also an anime character that's immune to fire he creates and has lost about half his skin. Yep, there you go.
Dobby from
Pokemon logic, it only burns who you want to burn. It's a way to do it. Like I said, I think consistency is the important part. Like you just need to have it make sense for what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like the X-Men universe is pretty interesting about that because they have, not only is your X gene like won't hurt you, but it also won't hurt your relatives, like your familial relatives. Just because it's too similar to whatever you're doing. I always thought that was pretty interesting.
Interesting.
Like that's why Havoc and Scott Summers couldn't hurt each other with their powers because they didn't know they were brothers. Spoilers for a 60-year-old comic. Have you guys heard of the game Hades? Yeah, we played Hades on the channel for a while. You're rolling a D10.
D10. Okay. I love Hades.
Hades is pretty good.
I think Supergiant is one of the best indie studios in my opinion as far as like making music and visual aesthetics kind of match the storytelling they're trying to do, and also they're real good about making games that feel good to play.
Yeah, they do a good job at focusing on what makes a game fun as well as story, which a lot of companies will usually pick one or the other, and then make concessions. I think they do a good job of balancing that.
Yeah. I rolled a 5.
A female hound Archon Asimar.
Ooh.
Noble Bard. There's a lot of words. I'm sorry. A female
Yep.
hound Archon Asimar Noble Bard Warlock of a genie patron who is adventuring. I gotta hold on.
It's a.
This
I'm
is a
actually
complicated sentence. A female hound Archon Asimar Noble Bard, Warlock of a genie patron who is adventuring for her world tour to entertain her patron, but she cannot perform well at all. And that pleases her patron greatly. So, so it's a bard on a world tour that is bad at being a bard. That was a weird sentence. Punctuation might have helped me there, but there it is. It's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. I don't know what a hound Archon Asimar is.
So a hound Archon is like a celestial plane Archon, basically a bulldog person.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're just a muscular dude with a dog head, basically.
All right. And there's a second part coming. I assume you're talking about Hades? Yeah, I'm excited for the second Hades. Zagreus, according to the Greek myth, was the son of Dionysus and Penelope, and he's the god of birth. Very cool.
It depends. That depends.
Yep.
It depends on which region is writing the story. It depends on how far the story has spread and how far the story has been integrated into the mythology of different locations. Like, you got to remember, ancient Greek, or ancient Greece wasn't really a country. It was a collection of city-states, and every city-state region had its own mythology. And most of the mythology that we have from Greek is extremely Hellenistic. It is completely, it is from Athens, and is anti every other city-state, especially Sparta.
Yep.
The one exception, I think, is the story of Arachne, which I believe is Spartan mythology propaganda against Athena, being specifically like, look, you guys say Athena is amazing, but she's just as vicious, vindictive, and evil as all of the other gods. So get off your fucking high horse, because look what she did to that woman just for being more skilled at her.
There's some weird prejudice in this voice. I don't know. There's some vitriol in this lesson. That I didn't
There's
expect.
a lot of vitriol in most of Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just came here for the swan fucking. That's all. Oh man, Zeus is an asshole.
Yeah.
Yep.
None of Greek mythology makes any sense to me. But I mean, that's not true. Like, there's a lot of weird stories. It's just like, wait, what? Why?
Well, kind of like with what Drew just says, like, it has thousands of years of history, and different areas had different stories and
propaganda, and yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's kind of like our fault for thinking that it's all one cohesive story, but it really isn't.
Yay, my suggestion got rolled. Yeah. I don't want the horns to go up. I'm going to do that. Greek mythology is unique for high levels of sarcasm and satire. Okay. Did the Romans have gods very similar to the Greeks? I believe so.
Yeah, well, yeah. A great deal of Roman mythology is just reskin Greek mythology.
Yep.
Hercules is Roman, Heracles is Greek. Otherwise, they are exactly the same.
Gotcha. I only mentioned it once or twice, and it's only assumed that he related to Dionysus and possibly is a form of Dionysus. Interesting. Interesting. I was thinking about it the other day, and I think that warlocks should have to wear their patron on their sleeve. Like, and what I mean by that is, I think having the pact, at least to most people, should be, unless it being a secret is important. I think having a warlock pact should be a physical manifestation in some way, whether it's horns or tattoos or like a burn scar or something to that effect. Just like someone who is aware of magic or has a high religion check should be able to just see it on your character. See the taint that's on your soul. I kind of like that idea, but it doesn't have to be necessarily a bad thing either. It could be something that's just like, I want to be powerful, and your muscles just look unnatural, but you're just buff as hell, right? Like, that was just something I was thinking about the other day, which I might start implementing in my games.
Are you suggesting that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a warlock?
Maybe. That's why he's always got a cigar.
Yeah. Xanthar's had stuff about that where it's like your patron, like, how does your pact manifest on your body?
Okay.
So it's like, do you have like a missing eye or something like that, or
because they did that a little bit more for like the hex blood, which I really like. I really like that concept for a race, right? Like, and I think that's really good. Same thing with like anything Fey. If you have a Fey compact, like you should be more Fey aspected in some way. I like that.
Longer ears, wild colored hair, something.
Well, they definitely did that with the Fey Wanderer art.
Yeah.
The Fey Wanderer art looks like a satyr, but their little caption is a human Fey Wanderer, and they are green with horns. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I super dig that. I dig that idea.
Let's see. I need a suggestion for a musical instrument for this bard.
Ooh, yeah. Well, if they're a dog, maybe they have like I was gonna say a whistle. Is that like a little tin flute? Maybe that's why people hate them. They just make really loud noises, or they just bark. Other people can suggest things. I don't have to be the one that suggests things. Chat, get on that. A bugle, a didgeridoo.
Oh, there is no way in hell, like as a trumpet player, there's no way in hell a dog could play a bugle. Jaw harp. I'm not drawing Snoopy.
Could just go classic harp.
I suppose so.
The Romans were also far more into the reverse aspects of mythology, which they applied to the satirical Greek myths as an incorporating them. Interesting. In regards to warlocks, my guy has a glowing purple eye and scar. I'd say that fits into the category. Yeah, I think that's really cool.
So you could also watch some anime like Black Butler to get some cool warlock ideas.
Ooh, what was the Blue Exorcist? Is that the one I was thinking of? Is that the two brothers, or is that the guy with the?
Yeah, Blue Exorcist is the twin brothers with who are sons of the devil.
Yeah.
You're D Gray Man.
D Gray Man
is the one with the cursed arm.
He's just got the cursed demon arm. I love that too. Business says I suggested a plasmoid, wild-shaped sorcerer, an artificer, and armada of phantom mechanical tools floating around him. Okay, I'll put it on the list. Copy. A paste. Do we? There we go. Okay. It's on the list. It's on the list, business. I'd go with a double bass. It's a pretty good one.
I like that actually.
The hurdy-gurdy. There's nobody that plays the hurdy-gurdy. It's such a weird instrument.
Part of the look, anybody who plays the violin can play the hurdy-gurdy because it's just a violin with extra strings and a wheel that automatically strums all of them, right? It's just built to play things the way a bagpipe plays things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a lot of droning.
I really like the hurdy-gurdy sound. It's an interesting drone. But
I was gonna say, but also like you saying no one can play the hurdy-gurdy. It's like I have listened to plenty of YouTubers who can play the hurdy-gurdy well.
Well, I mean, have you though?
Yeah.
No. So hear me out. If you go on the to YouTube and type in like hurdy-gurdy, there's like 3 YouTubers. And then a whole bunch of people that go to those YouTubers to play their hurdy-gurdy. Like in the United States, the hurdy-gurdy is not people play like the steel drums, more people play the bagpipes. That's the point I'm trying to get across. Is not that people can't play it, like there's people suck at the hurdy-gurdy. There's just not a lot of people that can play the hurdy-gurdy, which I think is really interesting.
Even fewer for the glass harp.
Yeah, glass harp too.
Which is
I know
weird.
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so like for the amount of popularity that the hurdy-gurdy has, in like IRL, there's just it's not that popular, which surprises me because it's really cool, and you think there would be more people. It would be like more of a cult following of it. It's just not, and it could be because they're very complicated to make and expensive, so it's not something that people can really get into.
Yeah,
but
I do know it is actually kind of hard. Like once you know how to get a good sound of it, they're not terribly hard to play. Like if you know, like Jared said, play a violin, but like getting them to sound right is the hardest part. Because it really depends on like how fast you crank the wheel.
Mm.
And so it's like, I've seen one and we were allowed to like mess with it, and it's just like, nope. None of us could get like a good sound out of it.
Interesting.
I mean, most musical instruments really are about finesse.
Yeah.
Stock is looking like Scooby-Doo.
It is a little bit Scooby-Doo with breasts.
Oh no. Let's be honest, the double bass is a mega violin. I actually, I had a friend that played the cello, and then played the bass, and then played the bass guitar. Like, he's like, it's all the same. It's all exactly the same. So yeah. Like, there's a difference between, like, I was gonna say banjo, but that's not right. The ukulele, playing the ukulele and the guitar, there are similarities, but because the strings are different, they are different. Like the bass, the way the chords progress through the strings are different. But like, the bass guitar and the double bass are the same. Like, they're one-to-ones, so it's pretty cool. Play one, you can play the other. It's standing bass, not double bass. I'm sorry. Standing bass. I kind of accidentally made this person look like a deer instead of a bunny. We make this look more like a bunny. There we go. I solved it. Did you see the Not My Velma short that oh, what's her name? I can't remember.
I did not watch it. It did pop up in my feed.
Yeah, it kept popping up on my feed until I watched it, and it was terrifying. But NGL, who's shoot. The person that did that, their animation is amazing. They do all the weird horror stuff that I strive to wish to do but not want to. I want to be dark and edgy, but I'm not. I'm rugby. What I want to do on YouTube.
With friendly eyes.
Every time I tell people like I want to be a dark and scary YouTuber, I end up making puppets. So whatever. Nitrix, yeah. There you go. I had some of the letters right. Okay, I think I'm done with this Warlock bunny.
I want her to be real happy. Have I gone too derp? I love your Warlock bunny.
I don't think you've gone too derp. I think you're doing great.
Thanks. I really like how you got the horns in your Warlock bunny, because they feel seamless and appropriate, and I don't think I would have done it that well.
I could have gone like the what the F? Oh, interesting. Sorry, I just looked up and somebody changed one of the Discord icons, and I was like, "What is this? what have I been added to?" Thank you. I could have gone with the deer antlers for like the jackalope, but I didn't want to. But
yeah,
rugby with realistic teeth is edgier than Spawn. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that depends on how you draw the realistic teeth.
Dalcor,
the way I did it, sure. The way Dalcor did it, yeah, that's terrifying.
Dalcor did a really good, and I think I've posted a picture of it, but it's a really good 3D print, like a 3D model of realistic rugby, and it's terrifying. It's like if I tell people what rugby is, it's super dark and messed up and gross, but I can't draw it that way. Other people can. Well, I can't do it. It's weird.
Like, we could do a realistic rugby where he does just look like a puppet, because ostensibly he is a character in a puppet costume.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do realistic rugby creepy. It's just Dalcor and I chose to.
It's like SpongeBob when they do those pull-ins.
Yeah, exactly.
The hyper detailed stuff. I rolled a 6, which is a Velociraptor, lizard folk. I don't know if there was a race attached or a class attached to it. Fighter, unarmed fighting style. All right.
A Velocipede?
Wait, a Velocipede? What? Oh, is that a rugby Velociraptor?
No, a Velocipede is an old name for a bicycle.
Oh.
I did not know that. Cool.
Interesting.
It could also may have been an old brand of a bicycle, but I know it's just being like an old name for bicycles.
I call it the Speed Wagon. See if we can get some cool claw action in here. Birds are terrifying. I'm just going to put that out there.
I mean, they are dinosaurs.
Yeah. The more I get used to drawing dinosaurs and birds, it's like, they are the same. They are the same, and I hate it. Not because it's like, I hate it because it makes birds more terrifying. That's what, it's like, oh no. What was the suggestion for the bulldog? I don't remember.
Hound, Archon, Asimar, Bard, who can't play, loves to play, and her
That's right. Performing badly is what pleases their patron.
Performs badly. Yeah, so I guess she's a Bard lock. She's got a patron.
Ashley Brown just posted a cassowary. Is that what it is?
Yes, yep. Yes, that's the word.
Well, disembowel ya.
Basically a real life velociraptor.
Yep. I didn't realize that down in, I guess it's Chile, there is a basically like a South American ostrich called a rhea.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize those were things.
Oh, I didn't realize they were from Chile.
Yeah, they live like in the Amacama Desert, which is like
right.
one of the driest places on Earth.
You're making that up.
Not one of. I'm pretty sure it is the driest place on Earth. Isn't it so dry? There's like basically zero microscopic life in the soil.
I believe so.
No idea.
It is. Probably why all the mummies are well preserved.
Yeah.
One reason why, I'm sure.
Every lizard, this is a lizard fact from Oliver. Every lizard besides the Piranids, monitors, can't breathe while they run. They use the same muscles in their chest to run as they do to expand their ribcage.
Yeah, that's correct, because they don't have a diaphragm. So they have to use the muscles that run along the side of their ribs in order to breathe.
Interesting.
But also use those muscles for locomotion because they have to, wriggle like a worm. They have to undulate really fast in order to sprint, which is one of the reasons why they say I think it's the same for alligators and crocodiles. I could be wrong on that, but one of the reasons why they say you
zigzag,
if you that they get tired really easily. So if you can avoid something that a lizard or crocodile that's attacking you, you can usually get away if you can avoid it for just a couple of minutes because they get winded real fast. Because they're sprinting while holding their breath.
Just don't try that with a Komodo dragon.
No.
All right. Test. The delay is gone. Oh, there was a delay. I'm sorry. Didn't know that. An aberration against man? I don't know what that word means. Monitors use a force pump in their throats to push air into their lungs, so the diaphragm isn't necessary. Interesting. Sadly, Rook, I'm the opposite. I suck at describing non-horror. Drawing horror and writing is easy for them. Interesting. I'm really good at creating horror situations in D&D. I think I'm slowly becoming known for that in my friend group. But I'm also the person that makes really stupid goblin characters that are comically
obsessed with pickles.
Yep, obsessed with pickles. This is the duality of my problems.
Having a duality makes you more interesting.
Yeah, I suppose so. You never know where it's coming up next.
Yeah. Let's see.
I had a great moment of playing with Kevin the Necromancer's group because I had him running through a dungeon, and one of the things they were supposed to put blood on a door to get through it, And they just goofed around and dicked around until they accidentally opened it with bodily fluids that I don't want to talk about. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. We'll let it happen. And they're like, yeah, this is great. This is so lighthearted. And I'm like, and then the skin just flays off of all the skeletons and attacks you. And they're like, what the fuck? I kept trying to give them this horror campaign and they just kept goofing off until it just hit the fan and they panicked. It was pretty great. All right, fighter. So I want to give this guy some nice... It's an unarmed fighter, so maybe I do want to just do like body wraps. I want to go like kickboxer. Kind of what I was thinking. What about the mind goblins? Mind goblins. Body horror is funniest. Yeah, I'm not big into body horror.
No, yeah, me neither.
This is completely out of the blue and random, but I'm getting really good at throwing ordinary knives. I got really good at that when I worked at Dairy Queen.
Okay.
Like we would have hours of downtime. And so me and one of the other guys would just throw. We got really good at throwing we had two knives. We had like a tiny paring knife and like a chopping or like a kitchen, just generic kitchen knife.
Chef's knife?
Yeah, but it was like, it was a bad one. That's what I'm saying. Like it was cheap. It was the cheap generic kitchen knife. Just bam. So we got really good at throwing those into the cardboard boxes that were full of like cardboard stuff. That was just what we did. So I got pretty good at doing that. That was funny. Wouldn't recommend. So far, I like the one on the left more. The mouth is the right messed up for me. What? They're two different pictures. What are you talking about?
I think my derpy dog face is freaking him out.
I like the derpy dog face. So. How would the skin flay off the skeletons? So there's is it just animated skin? I can't remember.
It has a specific name and I can never remember it.
Flesh something. In Pathfinder, there's a creature that is just flayed skin. And the idea is that you have dead person, and then the necromancer turns them into a skeleton and the flayed skin, which is super creepy, and I love it. And if you are a necromancer and you have this, you can take the skin and wrap it around a skeleton to create a zombie. So, like, yeah, that's a Pathfinder thing that happens. And one of the players did do that. They used control undead to take over the skin and then made a zombie out of it. I thought that was pretty funny. A dog with human breasts weirds me out. Hey, to each their own. Like, you know.
Should I give it dog breast?
Yeah,
completely, like all the way down.
All the way down.
It's a hound archon. It is a dog head on a person body angel. Like I didn't make this up.
Dun, 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 dun. Take inspiration from The Thing and the Flesh Pit Nature Resort. I don't know what that one is. Lots of horror. The thing is, I hate watching and reading horror. That is weird.
I mean, I don't really care for horror, but I really like flesh warp characters.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the flesh warp. Like, I think there's a big difference between like static body horror and like gore porn, like the Saw movies. I can't watch the Saw movies. I'm not into it. But like John Carpenter and some of the other things like that, like the movie The Thing, is body horror in a way where it is monstrous and weird, and I'm okay with that. And it's like the flesh warping stuff in D&D, I kind of dig. I kind of dig that the creatures like, oh, I have 6 eyes. It's like, that's super weird. Or like, I have spider parts. It's like, that's super weird too. But it's not like, it's not body. It's not like dismemberments and stuff. Like, I don't think that, which is kind of synonymous when you get to body horror. Because it's just like, oh, it'd be really funny is if we just got to watch someone get their teeth broken in. It's like, that's not fun. Like, that's bad. That's not horror. It's just gore. So there is a line. There is a line, yeah. Not into the torture porn stuff.
Yeah.
Body horror, snakes with boobs. Sure. Like, I'm sure someone doesn't like that. I want to do a little bit of armor.
You don't like Snilk?
Oh.
I definitely watch too much Drawfee.
Yeah, it's all right. Picture this: a snake with human feet. Yeah, it's a monstrous. Oh no, snake people, of which I've forgotten the name of.
Yuan-Ti?
Yuan-Ti. There you go. Yep. It's a snake with snakes for arms. What? Snakes don't have arms. This one does, and there's snakes.
Yep.
They're just more snakes.
Snakes all the way down.
Mm-hmm. Just Spider Woman from Japanese mythology. Yeah. Is it possible to watch too much Drawfee? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
We'll have to run a study on Druid.
When you start hearing Karina making dirty jokes in your head, just totally out of context, just from conversations, like in response to conversations you have just randomly overheard in public, you have watched too much Drawfee. Has that happened to me? Maybe.
I don't like this. I'm gonna give him like a high belt. Do some wraps. Should I give him a shoulder pad? I hate not giving a fighter armor, but if they're an unarmed fighter, maybe it's okay. Maybe we'll let it slide.
Still wear armor.
Yeah, I just can't decide what kind to give them.
Spiked hide armor.
I mean, that's what I was trying.
Just leave the guns out.
Yeah.
Sun's out, guns out, baby. Since my D&C sessions are 2 weeks apart, they each are 5 hours long. That's good.
That sounds exhausting.
D&D movie had unarmed fighters. Nice. I think the interesting thing about like making the D&D movie, just like when you make a D&D game, it's like how close do you want the like the rules of the universe to match the actual mechanical kind of information of the game.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of things were like, oh, they broke druids. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's possible. Like,
druids are already broken. What you talk about?
Like anything D&D media wise doesn't have to follow the rules, because otherwise everyone would only, nobody runs the exact same amount of space in six seconds. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think Jenny D did a pretty good like response to that sort of like criticism, which was I guess it was kind of a review, and she addressed the fact that people didn't think that the main character was a bard because he didn't use spells, and she's like, well, let's look at his published spell list. all of these spells look like look like talking.
Yeah. Which is
And
great.
he used bardic inspiration constantly, so I don't. Yeah.
I think I did
So-
see part of that.
Yeah, and in response to the druid thing, she was like, "Well, yeah, they like it's a visual media. It's different from the game, so it was really important that they show like the versatility of a druid. So of course they gave her way more wild shapes. There's nothing wrong with that because it's a different media, and it doing what they did made the movie more fun and the character more fun and told
good.
people what druids can do better. So it like in terms of media, it was probably the correct decision. And I agree with that.
People don't gotta be angry at everything. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You
Like
can enjoy stuff.
we can just be cool, internet. Just be cool, please.
Stop trying to fight outrage. It makes me so mad. All right, hold on. Let me catch up on chat here. Anyone have to deal with missing D&D sessions a lot because of flaky players? Yeah. Sometimes what you have to do if there are lots of people conflicting is basically set up different sessions, different ways to play the game. I'm a big fan of episodic. Yeah, I'm a big fan of episodic gameplay. So basically, you set up lots of one-shots that are continuing a story, and that way other people can like switch out DMs, and you can have little side things going on. And so that's one way if someone can't show up. It's like you can still play, just their character waits behind at the guild hall or in the cart, you know. So I think that's one way to do it. We do that all the time. Yeah. Another thing you can do is just like I like having, you know, the weekly. Every other week we hang out and play D&D, but if people can't make it, still take the time. Just go hang out with your friends. Like, do something else. Play a game. Eat pizza. Which Oliver says not eat pizza, mac and cheese. Which is not separate. I'm confused. There is no exhausting and caffeine-fueled roleplay. Did I miss something?
I think that's a response to me saying that 5-hour D&D sessions sound exhausting.
Oh, okay. Make the whole family play. The movie was mostly a Pathfinder movie than a D&D movie. But they can't say that it's Ginny's videos because it's blacklisted the word Pathfinder. That's funny. Velociraptor on the right? Is the screen backwards?
Is it?
Not for me.
This dog lady.
Yeah.
That's the dog lady. Diana Velociraptor people.
It's when the Velociraptors have Doberman Pinscher ears.
Making a group split. I've also done that. I've also broken our games into smaller sections so that more people can play. Or like if two people have conflicting timescales, it's like cool. You guys can't play together. That sucks. I as a DM will run 2 games every other week, so we can do that. If people want to show up, they can. So the stories are focused on sets of players who have time to fit each other. I don't play a lot of like this player is the thing that drives the story. I do a lot more of a story is happening and the players are interacting with the world. So if someone isn't there, their chunk of that story just is not focused on, but the world progresses. So just because one player isn't there, the story of the world keeps going and the players have to interact with things. So if they miss something, it's not like, oh, we can't progress the story because this person is the linchpin for it. It's very much that regardless of what the players choose to do that week or who is there, the story of the world progresses and then people just have to catch up. So yeah. Left, I feel stupid. Sorry. Okay, no, I was confused. Something like I can switch my screen and it doesn't switch the screen on YouTube, and so I'm like, did I break YouTube earlier when I was fiddling with the zooming of it? So.
Yeah, I figured it was probably just a directional mistake. I'm sorry for teasing you.
A on chemistry can't distinguish left from right. That's totally legitimate. Like, don't feel bad about that at all. Turns out that's one of the signs of dyslexia, which most people have some form of. And my mother still like cannot. I even knew people that used to. Someone I know that might have been a YouTuber got the letter L tattooed on their hand. so they would always know which one was left. And I was just like, that's intense. Ever made a video on pulling off the episodic tactics thing? I think I've talked about it quite a bit. I don't know if I've ever made a video about it. Yeah. So probably not. Probably not. Might be something I have to do. I mean, the stories go, but the player isn't there. I am explaining it wrong. Yeah. So a good way to look at it is, and this is kind of the thing. You can have someone like that is the main character of the story, right? That is an option, and there is definitely a place for this person is the main character, right? Like they have the main focus that is progressing the story. Kevin the Necromancer is a great example of that. His character is the one that is looking for the daggers, and everyone is following him. So if Kevin can't play, you probably just don't play D&D. The other option is that if the city that your players live in is the main character, goblins are going to attack. There's a whole bunch of dragons thinking about attacking the city. There's a cult group over here. If one or two people can't show up, but they're really interested in the dragons, you just follow the B story over here because the players that are there are interested in it, and all of these storylines progress, right? And so the story of the city keeps growing, and you just like it's not, the story isn't shut down because the players aren't the main focus.
Yeah. I'm discovering based on our current Pathfinder game that I think it's a really good thing also if people don't have only one character. Like you could have it like you could have a team A and team B where everybody has more than one character. And if you want team A to be following like a big overarching specific storyline, but people have issues, like I have a lot of health issues, so it has been difficult in the last year for me to be able to play consistently, especially this last winter. But like having backup characters and having people who can having other people who can DM for a different party, so that you basically have a downtime group, like that can also be really good. And it can be good for helping you flesh out the world so that everybody is aware that there's more stuff than is happening in just the main party, which is also helpful for avoiding murder hobo shenanigans. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of having multiple characters to switch between. But I know a lot of people that don't want that. They can't handle it. They just like, nope, I have to invest in this character. And it's like, okay, that's fine. So yeah.
I thought it would be really difficult as a GM to have to juggle multiple characters. It's been okay up until the point where certain people wanted to have 4 or more characters.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Morbid, Drew and I try not to compare our art because we have 2 very different styles. So
yeah. Comparison in terms of art, comparison is really not helpful.
Yeah. So Drew and I don't usually worry about do you like more or better. It's just very different.
Yeah.
I would always pick druids, so like it's.
And I would usually pick rooks.
Yeah, so it's.
Despite the fact that neither of us wants to pursue like drawing in each other's style.
Correct.
I really love Rook's line work. I really love how Rook is much better about making cohesive clothing and incorporating gear than I am, and I'm super jealous of that.
And I'm jealous of how you're able to get all this detail in like the cloth on that. Like my brain just doesn't do it. My brain doesn't do it, and I wish it would. So, yeah.
So yeah, so the key is, especially like if you're an artist, like respect and celebrate your peers, right? Like and I think one of the reasons I'm so comfortable here drawing here in stream with you is because you do that very well, right?
Yeah, like
critique is
super important, but also like
it is.
It doesn't have to be all critique all the time. Like it's okay to just
Yeah.
enjoy people's art.
Yeah.
And that sounds really weird, but like that's I've been on both sides of that. Of just sometimes people don't want to hear what to do for their art. Just like hang out with it.
If you're enjoying my drawing more than Rook's right now, I'm like, thank you. I'm super pleased about that.
I constantly feel like Druid is the real YouTuber here, and I'm just facilitating the art, which is okay too. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Well, you felt that way about Jonas too.
Yeah, Jonas is great. I love having different artists on the channel.
So, but
and
like,
I grow and learn from it. So,
yeah.
But I don't want. Basically, the reason I brought that up is because asking like, which one do you enjoy more? It's just it's adding competition and competitive.
Yeah, where there
I'm
really doesn't need to be it. Yeah.
So.
In terms of art, like the only person an artist should ever be competing with is themselves from yesterday.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get some more scales in here, and then I'll probably call it on this one. I've been drawing it for a while. What are your guys' style then? I mean, you can look at them.
Yeah, so
I have a very line oriented style.
Yeah, so if we want to break it down, the absolute basics of art are basically the tools, the principal tools that you have to use are line, shape, value, color, texture. And style basically means like when we talk about art style, what we mean is every artist can pick like 2, maybe 3 of those things to focus on, and they use those tools to trick your viewer brain into thinking that you're seeing something. Right. So this is like all of this is a lie. Everything you're seeing on this page,
There's
like
not
everything
really
we're drawing, it's a lie.
here.
It's not really there. We're tricking you, and we're using the tools at our disposal to trick your brain into seeing what we want you to see. It's all psychological manipulation. I hope you're okay with that. Yeah, but like Rook's style focuses mostly on line and value, and my style focuses mostly on shape and value, and sometimes color.
I hate color so much.
But color is really, really important to me.
Yeah.
So like even as I'm drawing this without color, I'm basically seeing the image in my mind, the image that I want to make in my mind in color, and I'm having to take the color out of it.
And I have aphantasia, so I have to think about what I want, and then my hand figures the rest out.
Yeah.
A lot of the times I don't know what I'm drawing until it's finished. I mean, like that's an oversimplification, but yeah, I struggle with that kind of stuff.
So for anybody who doesn't know, aphantasia is the inability to voluntarily picture things in your mind.
It's a very active thing for me to like bag. What kind of bag? So it's yeah, but art helps me deal with that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a very conceptual thinker. I don't have a lot of weird stuff. Let's go back to chat here.
Yeah.
When can you draw again? Well, we were going to try to do like a viewer day one day this month, probably next week, maybe. Tuesday or Thursday, I think is probably going to be best to let people jump in and draw with us. So.
Oh, I hate this hand.
I tried character design and drawing before. My inability to draw perspective and proportions properly is discouraging to say. I assume you're saying to say the least. To say the least. Okay. Yeah. It's just practice, you know. It's just that's all it really is critique can be really helpful. Having a good art community to like give you good advice or critique is super important. Feel free to share stuff with the Discord and, you know, ask people questions or just hang out and share and keep growing. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. I'm currently think of myself as being better at critique than art. And I'm pretty good at critique. So if you ask for critique in the Discord, I usually chime in.
Yeah, both you and I think, have enough academic background to like. I think our critiques are pretty fair.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad about it. If you're worried about being too critical, like I think we're pretty good at. I think we're good at giving good critique. I'll venture to say that much. I think I'm also done with this character. I'm going to go ahead and roll the next dice. What you like drawing? Are you talking to us or someone else? Dang, gaslighting like pros. I am confused. I think the chat has lost focus. How do I find what? Styles, preferred looks. Yeah, I'm very confused. Some people like jagged and dark lines. Some don't even add lines to work and use color to show depth. Yep. Yeah, I mean, those are all different styles of art.
Yeah. Oliver Key, I would posit that science, which is inherently problem solving, is a creative pursuit.
I can see that. A large orc lady with large gun sword.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. I'm horrible at art, but I like writing and taking pictures. Yeah, that's good. I draw horror, so unnatural long limbs, most shapes, jagged lines, also geometric at the same time. That's a thing you can do. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that comes down to what we call shape language, which is basically you make stylistic choices in an attempt to evoke specific feelings in your audience.
I'm talking to you. Are you trying to talk to us directly or to chat? Chat is talking to each other. Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay. Yeah.
You were talking about how artists trick you into seeing things, so I made a joke about gaslighting. Oh, I got you.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All art is trying to make things look 3D. Make things pop out of the page. I have mixed feelings about how critique is often handled in art schools. Sometimes it's great and you can get a lot of perspective and a lot of good feedback. Yeah, there's... F's in chat, yeah. I have struggled with learning how to take critique, and I've learned how to give critique, and that really took me 4 to 6 years of doing it consistently to really like kind of narrow it down, because I've given people very bad critique in my life, and I've had to learn the hard way that like, oh, that was not good for them. So
yeah, I 100% agree. I think learning how to give and take critique is the most important thing that I started to learn in school and had to continue to learn after.
Victor says, I don't seem to be able to receive any of the roles from Carlbot in the Discord. Did you click the checkbox to say that you're a person and understand the rules of the Discord? You got to check the little checkbox and then you can select a role, I believe. If not, we will figure that out. Because there's welcome in rules. Click the checkbox and then select a role. Let me know if that does not work. You don't need art school to draw. Nope, you don't.
Nope. It can be really helpful if you have a hard time learning stuff on your own. I do. So,
sorry, yeah. A lot of things.
I do. So art school is useful. Go ahead.
A lot of people I know go to art school because they're already somewhat good at art and they want to improve from there. Like they don't know where to improve. And so art school kind of lets you push. If you're going to art school with zero art skill, I hope you really love it. Like, yeah, because a lot of times, like for me, I went to art school and I hated art school. And then I went and did a whole bunch of other stuff before I went back to art school. So it really does. If it's something you love and are passionate about, then art school can push where your art is to another level. But a lot of the people that succeed in art school are already pretty good at art when they come in because they are passionate about it and, just want to improve.
Yeah.
That was a problem. Thanks. Okay, cool. But I'm great at 3D shapes. 3D shapes are great.
You might really enjoy sculpture then. Sculpture is what I went to school for. Sculpture and ceramics. And I think it's a lot of fun. And like my drawing and painting skills were absolute shit before I really started to figure out sculpture. And I think part of it is because the way my brain breaks things down is it's three-dimensional first, and then I have to translate it into 2D if I'm gonna do 2D. So like one of the biggest things about gaining any sort of art skill is learning how to think about what you're seeing in the world and how to translate it into uh, an image or an object. And that's true for photography too. Anyway, so
Something I learned on that note was when I started going to art school again, like I sketched a lot, but I didn't really have a good form. Like my drawings were subpar. They were there, but my functionality to draw was there, and I wanted to draw. And so when I started taking 3D classes, that helped me influence my 3D stuff because I could visualize it very quickly in sketches and then make it in 3D. But then what I discovered was after I started building more and more in 3D, it actually improved my drawing skills because I was thinking about it different. I was seeing the shapes that, and that could be something with like my Aphantasia as well. It's like me drawing something quickly on the page. That's the first iteration of my brain trying to figure out what it is I'm trying to see. And then building it in 3D is the second iteration. And then going back to art with it is the third iteration. And so I'm finally like narrowing in. So all those things build up. If you're good at one type of art, it can translate to others. And so sketching, drawing, writing, like it's all additive and thinking about things. So
yeah, absolutely.
Should this gun sword, what kind of handle should we put on this thing? Maybe like this. Do something like that. That looks about right.
I'm just letting you have as much freedom with it as you want, so design how you like. Oh, I wish I could have added something to this conversation, but it's like, I don't do art.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's the critique thing. Like if you've ever critiqued a paper or critiqued everybody critiques things differently for sure. Like I have kind of an anecdotal story that I don't really want to go through again, but I got critiqued by a teacher in the way that I was comfortable with because I told him like I want your criticism. I want to know exactly what you're thinking. And when he critiqued me in front of a class of what is normally engineering students, because I was the only art and architecture student in there, well, I was one of like two. I got a very good critique and I was happy with it. Everyone else in the class thought that I got like railed on. And they were like, "Oh my God, are you all right? Like that was the most brutal thing I've ever seen." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" That was totally normal. It's different. It's different for different people. All right, let's sketch up here. That was a problem. Thanks. 3D shapes, numbers. I do sculpting, well carved. I'm giving advice to Ollie. Gotcha. I love meshing, though I don't like sculpting so much. I used to do a lot of meshing. I hate it now. I like high poly sculpting and like texturing is fun. Like, but I think rigging is probably my favorite thing now. But
The only art I've really ever done, and I'm not even sure if I personally would consider art, was I did a lot of crocheting and like weaving stuff.
I count that.
Yeah,
I know you all would, but
Leo Tolstoy would, especially if you were doing anything Christian imagery.
Yeah, no, just straight lines.
That is another thing that I run into a lot, or I've run into a lot when I was at school. Is like, especially since I was doing mostly 3D, a lot of people were just like, I can't draw. And it's like, you should though. Like you should try, even though like it's not good though. I'm like, it doesn't have to be good. Like being able to get your ideas down on paper as fast as possible is a useful tool. So even if you're not like really good at drawing is still an amazing tool to have for any art discipline. Crocheting as well. Like just like I need to be able to map this out. The comfort of being able to grab a pencil and get your idea on paper to somebody is very, very powerful. So don't be scared to just sketch and doodle.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think that like science and engineering count as creative pursuits, even if you don't think of them as art the way I would. Like they definitely count as creative pursuits. Like, you ever seen somebody draw out an electrical circuit? Like that is problem solving, and like it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't, I'm not expecting a Monet from that, but like it's interesting and it's communication. Like it's about getting a point across, and therefore I count it as art.
I have a book. I don't know if I have it anymore. I might have given it to somebody. Never give somebody a book expecting to get it back. That's just a rule of life. If you give somebody a book, it's a gift. Buy a new one. It's something I learned a long time ago, and it's done pretty well for me. If you want to give somebody a book, don't lend them yours. Just buy them a copy. Support the artist. But no, it was basically like sketching for how to sketch specifically for design processes. So like not drawing, but like how do you tell a story or designing user interfaces? Like how do you sketch for that? How do you show that someone needs to push a button here? It was really cool. It was a really cool way of thinking about it. Just like, oh yeah, sketching is more than just drawing characters sometimes. Even though that's probably my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
What kind of clothes should we put on this orc pirate lady?
I mean, if we weren't on YouTube, I'd say none, but
just free balling with a gun sword.
She doesn't have balls.
It's still a term.
Presumably.
It's a viable term. You understood what I meant.
It's fair. Anyway, clothes. Let's see, clothes for an orc sailor. I mean, huge poofy pirate shirt comes to mind immediately, but is that too low-hanging fruit?
Wait, what? Say that again?
Poofy pirate shirt?
Oh yeah, we could do poofy pirate shirt, I guess.
I love how everyone has went pirate for this character, and it's like pirate was never mentioned in the description of it.
We know who you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know no orcs in Final Fantasy.
That's fair.
I don't know what do gunbreakers wear?
Leather jackets.
Did you ever watch the movie Van Helsing?
Yeah.
Yeah. The one with Wolverine. What's his name?
Yeah. I was kind of
Jackman.
thinking Logan Jack.
Logan Jack.
Oh God.
Fuck you.
I was thinking of that girl's outfits in the movie. It's kind of piratey.
I do really want to get better at drawing clothes, like leather jackets and stuff.
Leather is such a weird material to have to draw.
Because it's rigid. It's rigid and soft at the same time.
Yeah,
that's not
yeah. It does not behave like fabric. By the way, if people are curious, You want to draw paper? Paper is just fabric that is more rigid. If you want to draw hair, hair and fabric are basically the same. Except hair is
They're
more
fibers.
flowy because it doesn't have a weft, it's just warp.
Whiffed.
There you go.
That is a corset.
With a short vest.
Could do a corset. Not happy with this orc face though. Let's get a little more orc face in here.
I hope the person who requested this ASMR doesn't mind that I kind of unilaterally made the decision that playing badly and being really happy to play and being a bard, she's just got a tambourine. I realize that's going to be real annoying.
Can you imagine going to a show to see somebody and they just only have a tambourine? It's just someone banging a tambourine for like 2 hours. Boo!
Kind of a nightmare.
Get off the stage. I've made them a very squunched face orc here, and I'm not happy with it.
Okay. I just need to get this hand done, and then I think I'm good.
Why is Tusks so hard?
Because they change so much about the face and the skull.
It's true. All right, let's see here. What drawing tablet does everyone use here? I'm thinking about buying one. I have a Wacom Cintiq Pro. It's expensive. I wouldn't recommend it unless you are using it 5 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah, I've got an Intuos Pro, which is it's just like a desktop tablet, and like it doesn't have a screen or anything to go with it, so it takes a little bit of getting used to because you have to look up at your screen and not at your hand while you're drawing.
I used one of those for 5 years, 6 years,
Yeah.
and then I switched to one of the tablets, and I really like that, and I used that for another 5 or 10 years, and I finally upgraded to this one. So
Yeah. Once you get used to the Intuos though, like it works.
yeah.
It's great. I like it just fine. I like the button organization on it better than I think the screened tablets.
We get so wrapped up in numbers in our society, and the most important
Was Jump Rope trying to talk to me?
we're able to be one.
I don't think so.
Okay. She posted something in Discord, and it didn't make sense to me, so.
That's what's important.
I did want to make this
Typing.
more. A little thicker, but I think we're doing all right.
Oh. She was listening to Druid having a one-sided combo and was confused.
I gotcha. Okay.
What? I also talk to myself too much? Ooh, really? Imagine that.
It's contagious.
Burning said give her Jonas tips.
I did. The giant scream for revenge.
Rounder! Oh, poor Jonas.
Yeah, hope he's doing okay. It's been a couple weeks since he's popped up in chat.
Well, there's a non-Newtonian fluid. I have a Wacom bamboo. I used the bamboo first, yeah. I used a Wacom bamboo for probably 2 years, and then I upgraded to a Cintiq 4 or something.
Yeah. I like Wacom better than Apple.
Oh yeah. Back in the day though, like when I bought my bamboo, like Apple didn't exist. And then when I bought my Cintiq 4, they're like, "Oh, use an iPad." And it was hot garbage. They've gotten a lot better now. So if you want a tablet, like they're functional. But I highly suggest getting the paper. There's a paper texture thing you can get for your tablets, which are really nice. And the Pro Pens are pretty good now, so it's a viable thing.
If I was to start doing that, I couldn't have that. I don't like the feel of paper.
So
Some of my weird things.
I draw. I love. Oh man, I grew up with paper. So like.
Yeah.
I love it. I still draw every day. In my papers. I need to upload some of those, by the way. I draw sexy pinups in my sketchbook every day, and I haven't uploaded those in a while. So,
like the worst thing I've ever experienced is like the feel of felt tip markers on paper. It's just like, nope.
Interesting.
It's death to me.
I've got some tactile holdups on a lot of things. That is not one of them, and that does actually surprise me. Vinyl destroys me.
Weird.
When you mean vinyl, what do you exactly mean?
I mean the feel of vinyl plastic.
Okay.
Just touching it against my skin.
You poor summer child.
Yeah, like especially the those like holographic notebooks that they had in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Specifically this, like, I hated the feel of those, but even worse was the sound that those made whenever anything like brushed against them. Ugh.
Yep.
That sound actually legit hurts my teeth.
I knew somebody that was like just couldn't stand wet wood. That was a funny one.
That's funny.
I was like, yeah, I also don't like that, but like, no, he would leave the room. It was funny. Super dry hot wood on a dock on your feet. I don't like that. It's like, I'm gonna get slivers. I rolled net 20 on myself. I'm sorry. I hope you're okay. Do see a couple of Huions here. I almost bought one. I was gonna get one when my tablet kind of pooped out, but I had enough money saved up that I went for this one instead. If you need a good, like, I mean, it's still like $300, but the $300 option is viable from Huion. So someone said something about an Intuos, right? Yeah, I'm using an Intuos. I'm using the Pro, but they're really good. They're just expensive. Wacom does some really, really nice stuff, and I've really been happy with their customer service and everything else. But it's an expense. My argument has always been, start with the cheap thing to see if you enjoy using it, which is like the Intuos or the Bamboos are great.
Yeah,
are great for that. And then if you start making money with it, save up some money and buy a bigger one, buy a better one.
Yeah.
But I've also known a lot of people that'll drop $600 or $700 on a tablet and then not like it and just never use it again. And it's like, can I use it? Can I do this one? So, yeah. A lot of people that were like a lot of freshmen when they would come into the university, they would be like, oh, I'm just going to buy this huge tablet. And it's like, I mean, are you into illustration? Because like when I do 3D sculpting and stuff, I like having the tablet. But if I'm just doing like 3D modeling or texturing, I prefer the mouse. The tablet pen is not good for those fine-tuned things. If you're not doing the pens are great for strokes, not like lots and lots and lots and lots of clicking and dragging. It's just not.
I remembered when I was in university, we were. This was a dangerous thing my school did, was they let us charge things to our accounts.
Oh, that's what we
at
call.
The bookstore. There was a limit. There was a $200 limit of what you could charge. So once you got to 200, you can't charge anymore.
Predatory is the term you're looking for. Predatory.
Yeah, I feel like that was more of a Barnes & Noble thing they did. Because that was our bookstore at the time, was Barnes & Noble.
Double predatory. Corporate.
Yeah.
Corporate greed.
Yep. And, but I would use it. I used it once to get a tablet. And I love these tablets. They're probably really cheaply, poorly made Chinese tablets, but I love them. And when it finally broke, I got me a Kindle Fire, and I hated it. It's like, it ain't the same.
Business. I already answered that question. We'll be doing a community day probably next week sometime. I would guess Tuesday or Thursday. But yeah, so not today.
I'm ready for a new prompt.
Go for it.
What am I rolling? D6?
Yes.
6.
Short female Thri-Kreen. Sorcerer. Bee-like Thri-Kreen. Sorcerer with one of their lower arms missing. Bee-like Thri-Kreen sorcerer.
So, this is because that weirdly sparked something in my head. There are these people in Pathfinder. I say people. They're like bee people.
Okay.
It's just, I've never heard of them in any other fantasy other than Pathfinder. It's just like, they're pretty cool.
Neat.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Bees. Bees are great. I want to do like... I still wanted to be a pirate.
You can make her
a
pirate.
I think the gun sword is just like inherently piratey in my mind for some reason. Which in Final Fantasy it's not. Like it's super weird Magitech.
Isn't the city that you picked that up in like Gardania?
Yeah. No, you get it in actually I don't know. I have to think about that. It's way later though. What do you get when you have a lizard and a scared cat and a running lizard? That's pretty funny. I think my cat would just eat the lizard.
Probably depends on the size of the lizard.
What size of the cat?
That could also end up being a sick kitty too.
I'm just saying I've got a friend who has a lizard who is bigger than your cats. I know your cats are big.
They're pretty big.
Is it an iguana?
No, it's a tegu.
Tegu?
No, is that right?
There were flintlock pistols and swords used for hunting boars. I think the flintlock is the thing that always makes me think pirate, which I know is not.
Yes, it's a tegu.
A tegu.
Not 100% authentic, but like that's where my mind goes.
I mean, if anyone was going to have a gun sword, pirates would probably be the people to sign up for it.
Yeah.
Tegus are the dogs of lizards.
Okay. But how much do they weigh?
I think my friend's weighs 25 pounds.
Okay, that's bigger than my cat. Argument ended. Can't compete with that.
he's an extremely tame lizard, very like cute and affectionate, and lives with a corgi. So I don't think, like, unless your cats actually attacked him, I don't think he would be a threat to them. But if they picked a fight, I think your cats would probably lose.
When I heard dog lizards, I thought of Joanna from Rescuers.
Yeah. I mean, she's I mean, she is very dog-like, although goanna lizards are not what I would generally consider to be friendly or dog-like.
Yeah.
Takers of the dogs. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. What are we drawing today? It was an orc, gun sword person, and a bee. Bee something? Bee sorcerer?
Yeah.
A
Short,
beef thrackering.
yeah, short bee thrycreen. So I'm channeling Jonas, and doing the hips.
I'm trying to make a swashbuckler with a gun sword. It is 2 o'clock here. I think I'm gonna do more, but I need to take a quick break, refill my water, maybe get something to eat real quick.
So I do love how you did the gun sword, because that's literally how I was picturing in my head. It's like the gun swords. It's like, no, they probably look like that. And then you just drew, it's like, reading my mind.
Yeah, it should be like a sword first and then a gun.
Yeah,
if it's a gun,
literally glued onto the hilt.
Yep.
In second edition, that is essentially what they are. They are more or sword first than gun.
Yeah, it's a cat. I have a cat, one old breed. I mean, yeah. I have 2 cats. One is fat cat, one is dumb cat. Those are the kind of cats I got.
Guess the color of dumb cat.
Yeah, I guess the color of dumb cat. All right, I think I'm done with this one. I don't know how much more I can keep fiddling with. So, I like it though. I like the idea. But I'm gonna go fill up my water. Everybody hang tight. I'll be right back. Everybody get up and stretch. Take a quick break. Take a breather. Get some water.
Do 10 push-ups.
Get
10 push-ups.
Yep.
Oh, bro.
Also, everyone mentioning tegus in the chat.
Orange is
I thought everyone was talking about tengus. I was like, wait, nope.
I mean, we could talk about tengus as well if you want.
I mean, mine's nothing but a big troublemaker anymore.
That's not true. And I maybe could have handled that better.
I definitely know I could have handled that situation better. It's like, yeah, I need to figure out those crafting rules soon.
Yeah.
Evil, sleazy tiefling professor.
He had a legit claim to that property.
I know. I am not arguing that. Personally, I am not arguing that. He doesn't.
No, I know, like, totally get it. He was designed to be a prick.
Like, but in Tyzon's mind, it's like, no, this is ours now. What do you get when you have a druid and a stepbrothers to the cleric? I mean, in the past, you used to have to be a cleric to be a druid. Because the druid was a prestige class that you had to start out as a cleric and had to be true neutral.
Yeah, that what was that? Third edition? Second edition?
I think in second edition, that was the case. Because I know druid was a separate class in 3.5, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think so as well.
But someone who has played 3.5 in second edition could give better answers. I never touched those, so I don't want to have to go and get a math degree to figure out Thaco and all that other jazz.
You don't need a math degree. You just need enough Excel knowledge to build a spreadsheet
Yeah, no.
and modify the spreadsheet quickly on the fly.
Same here, business. Like if I'm going to play D&D, I'm gonna probably play 5th edition. I do want to try 4th edition, mainly because I looked at my friend had a lot of the books that he got from Half Price Books, and it looked interesting, to say the least. So. Thunder. Yeah, someone actually ported a class from 4th edition to 2nd edition Pathfinder, which I was looking into. The class is called the Avenger, which is kind of like 5th edition's Oath of Vengeance Paladin, but as like a full class.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. What did I miss?
Oh,
Back.
nothing. But we just talked about other stuff, and I didn't get my push-ups in, so maybe I should do that.
Do it.
Roll some dice.
If I told everybody else to go do push-ups, I'd better do them myself, huh? All right, I'm gonna do it.
Now I was just talking about how someone ported over a class from 4th edition to 2nd edition Pathfinder.
2nd edition Pathfinder? That should be doable.
Yeah. It's the Avenger class, so.
A Dampier witch
it-
in Victorian style clothes and hands with a dark gradient. All right. Go ahead. Sorry, Avenger.
Yeah, so it's kind of like 5th edition's Oath of Vengeance Paladin, but like as a full-on class.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, HB. I do still want to try 4th edition at least once. To be my own
Right.
judge of it.
4th edition is bad, okay? 4th edition is interesting. I had fun with it a little bit, but we played like 2 sessions and then we switched to 3.5. So.
I feel like it could be. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just reading. You guys put the art in the Discord after the stream? Yeah. It's in the
Yeah.
Discord and draw. What do you guys think of non-religious paladins, clerics, and warlocks? I think it's fine.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I think that the most important thing for a paladin is their oath, their own personal moral code. I think that that can fit in great with a religion, but it doesn't have to.
Yep.
Ooh, a little out of breath.
What class is this? Danfair Witch. Okay. We're gonna get real pointy.
Sharp,
Very sharp.
pointed shoulder pads, and
Let's see. I'm gonna.
Almost went ghoulish, and I don't want to go ghoulish. Four key is like playing a video game. Yeah. World of Warcraft, the RPG. Or the tabletop RPG.
I mean,
Would that mean there are no chaotic paladins? Yeah. I mean, paladins are lawful. That's kind of the whole jam. And even anti-paladins are still lawful. They're just lawful evil.
well, they had to be chaotic evil. I'm not trying to make an argument. I promise.
No. I mean, you have an argument against there, but I really do think the paladin concept, like, even if you're going chaotic in the means of against a law, you're taking that alignment to a lawful extent. You are the champion of disregarding a specific set of laws. Like, I hate this order. I am anti this order, which in itself becomes a set of rules. Like, I will not follow that rule set. It's not chaotic stupid. It's lawful. It's lawful something. So I would say no, you cannot be a chaotic paladin, but you can be chaotic in the sense that it's not against a traditional lawful system. Follow the laws of chaos, which once again, that's more closer, which people, it's hard to do that. And that's why people kind of go chaotic stupid. Yeah. I think maybe a good example of that is like the Joker. Like, yeah, he does seemingly random shit, but he does it purposefully with the intent of fulfilling something, and he's just kind of the anti-Batman. So
Yeah. He
Religion
is
a
like Joker is kind of by his own
I like that.
admittance, only exists because Batman exists.
So that business, Batman throwing Joker into the vat, that is purely the
Danny Elfman.
I guess, or Tim Burton
Tim Burton, yeah.
Batman series.
There's a few versions of that.
Hmm. I'm throwing you a Nosferatu in chat.
I saw that, thank you. I have a chaotic evil paladin in my campaign, but the character went a bit mad. He's true to his oath, so I guess he's lawful. Exactly, yeah. Like, being chaotic and lawful are subjective, but it's there so that you know how your character should act in certain specific situations. Which is like anti-paladins, same thing. Like, you can be evil as an anti-paladin, but you should still be following a code or a creed, or just being the champion of anything, really. Which is why, like, Pathfinder 2nd Edition switched it from paladin to champion.
Yeah.
And I really like it. It's a better way to talk about it.
Yeah. It's like, now the term paladin is used to describe a certain subclass for champion.
Yeah.
Slime Boy is chaotic neutral. He doesn't give a shit unless it involves him. That could be chaotic evil. Chaotic neutral is really hard to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one could also make an argument that is just plain being true neutral, like, just not.
Yeah.
If it pertains solely to you, then you get involved. But if it doesn't, you're like, eh.
Yep.
Yeah. The way I tend to play true neutral is the character, like, my true neutral characters tend to be about experiencing the entire gamut of human emotion and experience. So they kind of dip into all of the alignments. Like they're not afraid to dip into all of the alignments, but they don't live in any of them.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Just kind of experience for experience sake.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't want to say easily coercible, but like they shouldn't really have a strong feeling against something. It's like, yeah, we can do that. Why not? Like,
yeah. That sounds interesting. Let's try it and see what happens.
Yeah. That doesn't sound fun. I don't want to do that today. It's like, cool. Like, just actively making decisions based on like the now, I think is important. But like a lot of people see chaotic or neutral as being lackadaisical and just like nonsensical. Doesn't have to be that. There should still be thought involved in all of your decision making.
Yeah. I like the way I think of chaotic characters is I mean, flighty and flaky is part of it, but I think of them as specifically being like a force of entropy.
I like for chaotic characters just disregard for authority. Not necessarily opposed to it, but just like, I don't want to be involved in that. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're going to break the law? It's like, yeah, I don't care. But you're still making active decisions. I would argue that chaotic is having much more flexibility in moral codes. Yeah, I think that's another way to look at it too. Like, you're not bound to trying to follow the rules. Or they just it doesn't concern you if you do break a rule. Neutral is more self-centered to me. Doesn't put out of its way. Does he want to help, not be bothered? Yeah, you can look at it that way.
Yeah. Self-centeredness tends to be on the evil spectrum, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm that way
more
too.
Often.
Basically, lawful or good and evil are really more selfish or altruistic.
Yeah,
and,
which is not necessarily it's not necessarily always the case, but it does tend to trope that way.
Yeah, and then chaotic and lawful are more morally driven for me. Just like, is this for the betterment of people, or is this harming? Is this harming people?
Yeah. Dale Kingsmill, YouTube channel Monarch's Factory, did a really cool kind of video on alignments and how to look at, on specifically like saying that if alignments don't work for you, don't use them. Switch it up and find something else that works for you better. Anyway, it's a fun channel. I think she's friends with Matt Colville. So it's I think that channel's worth checking out if you ever need more D&D content.
A chaotic character is primarily inconsistent morally? No, I don't think that's.
No.
I think a chaotic character is just like I said, untethered to trying to be morally constrained. You're willing to break the law. You're willing to go against the norms of that area, like being a rogue. Like being a rogue is chaotic in most situations, because you're disregarding the social contracts about, hey, let's not steal or murder stuff. But at the same time, you can still be a lawful rogue because you have a code that you follow. It's just not the same global morality of the region. So both lawful and chaotic are subjective. That's why I'm saying it's subjective, because it's you will be lawful in some ways, but to the outsider you may be unlawful in those situations. So not inconsistent, but like I said, it's subjective. Whereas being good and evil, you may think you're doing the right thing for yourself, but it's not up to you to decide if you're good or evil. it's basically it's an outside thing that someone is watching and deciding. So it's not something you as a character need to worry about.
Maybe it's helpful to look at it this way: like lawful and chaotic are kind of a more involved in actively thinking about moral philosophy. Good and evil are kind of maybe a little bit more about somebody said that this is what good and evil is, and you believe that.
Mm-hmm.
If that is helpful to look at it that way. My brush is getting real soft on me again. It's a habit I'm trying to break. That being said, a bee thri-kreen is
Pretty fuzzy.
fun. It's fun to draw.
Nice.
Ickle fuzz.
I need to give her big
old bumbly bits.
Yeah, fuzzy hip pads. Bumbly bits is probably a good term for it.
I need to take like a week and just draw different hairstyles. Forgotten what different hairlines look like. No, just con mod and 5e. Do you have any classes? Hold on a second. I made lost here. Just rolled an 8 on my new D8. Nice. I theorized about a lawful rogue that was effectively a repo man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, subjective. If you think what you're doing is correct, you are, you follow your code, you're lawful. But, other people might not agree with you, which doesn't matter. But the lawfulness should really be based around your character, what you're doing. Do you add your class level to the value you roll on your hit dice? No. Just your con modifier, yeah. Okay, now I understand that. Yeah, burning's on there. Here's a engineer example. Steals a croissant to feed a starving child. Yeah, you don't have to be neutral to buy a croissant. An evil person can definitely buy a croissant. A good person can buy a croissant. It's not as clear cut as that. It's all about your intent. Are you stealing a croissant because you want to? That might be evil. Are you stealing it because you have to survive? I don't think that's evil. You're stealing it for somebody else to help them survive? Can you afford to buy it? Like, if you're rich and you see a starving child and you steal something for them, it's still an evil act. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I think that person should pay for it. Like, that could have been less dickish.
Which is maybe one of the reasons why it's so hard to be rich and not evil.
Yeah.
Because in order to be rich, you kind of get used to, I'm assuming, I'm not rich, I don't know this for sure. I'm assuming in order to be rich, you kind of get used to getting other people to pay your expenses for you.
I think a great example of that, that kind of affluence is like Aladdin. Princess Jasmine is sneaking around. She's like, "Oh, you're hungry? Yeah, just give him food." It's like she does not understand the implications of what she just did.
Yeah.
Was that an evil act? No, she was trying to be kind. She just didn't understand. But everyone else, why is that woman stealing food? Hey, that's an evil act that we just saw happen.
Yeah.
So
She was completely innocent because of her psychotically sheltered upbringing.
well, now you've just justified rich people being shitty. So that's affluence. That's the definition of affluence right there. Is that people of stature don't understand how the world works.
I don't mean she was innocent of the crime because she committed the crime.
Okay.
She was innocent. She was innocent in that she didn't understand what she was doing was a crime.
Okay. I can agree with that.
Naive.
Naive is a better word.
Less legal jargon bundled up with that term.
Oliver, is your constitution like 15? 15 plus? How did you gain? Oh, that's only 11. Okay, no, that's fine. My math was bad. 40's all right. At level 4, that's pretty good. Whale bones. Get some texture in here. I have 16 constitution. Okay. Yeah, rolled an 8 plus 3. Yep, that makes sense. My math was bad.
Lyman, this I didn't quite forget. She's missing the hand off of the lower left arm. If you want me to break it even more, I can. I think I need to clean up my lines a little bit here.
Yeah, I think I'm about done after this one. I think this will be the last one for the day.
Gonna say Rick is in the zone now. He's got quiet.
I am. I'm starting to focus in on stuff and get a little too detailed. I've always wondered why we don't see shielded rogues. The idea that the slippery fighter in the group slides in to block for someone else is dope. That's interesting. You can do that with a fighter. Just have a high dex fighter.
Yeah. I love playing dex fighters.
Yeah.
I think it works really well with the Battle Master archetype.
If you're playing in 2nd edition Pathfinder, you could think there may be a few feats for rogues using shields. I could be wrong.
I wouldn't be
Sounds
surprised. 2nd edition Pathfinder cares a lot more about the mechanics of shield.
Because I know swashbucklers, they get stuff using bucklers.
Actually, yeah, swashbuckler might be a good archetype for what you're talking about there.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fighting oriented rogue. Rogues always kind of don't fit in to me for a lot of situations.
Yeah.
It's like it makes a lot of sense. We're like, okay, we're going on a dungeon dive. We need a burglar, right? Like that's the classic. That's where it came from. But then when it's like, we're an intrepid crew trying to save the kingdom. Better hire that miscreant over there. It's like, no. WJ, hello. You still up? I mean, it's only 2 p.m. here. It's the middle of my day. I prefer dex fighters over the strength fighters. Interesting.
I tend to as well, but that's, I think, probably mostly because in the games that I tend to play, dexterity saves tend to be more important and useful in survivability than strength saves.
That's fair. The fact that you get armor from dexterity too can be pretty nice. Unless if you're not planning on going plate mail, then you gain more from the dexterity. So you can definitely see both of those options.
And yeah, if you have a high enough dexterity score, there's no reason to go plate mail, really.
Yeah. I almost always dump dex for constitution. I'll take more hit points over dodginess most days.
And I tend to be the opposite.
Yep. Well viable.
Which is better.
I don't care. I rarely take the thing that is better. Which is why I'm pissed off at Magic the Gathering most days.
Yeah. To tell you the truth, that I don't enjoy min-maxing. I don't think it's fun. I don't think it leads to good or interesting character choices. Unless there was one exception in which my brother played a game and he was just like, I just want to see how stupid we can make first edition Pathfinder. So build whatever the fuck you want. And let's just play a super high level, super high fantasy crazy game and get weird with it. And he built some really, really, really tough encounters that I don't think we would have been able to handle if everybody hadn't min-maxed the shit out of their characters. So that was fun, but that was a campaign specifically built for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bodyguard rogue. Yeah, I really do. Even with that, I like that concept. I would almost surely go fighter. if you want to make a bodyguard. Maybe you have some points in rogue to get
Sneak attack.
maybe not even sneak attack, but just more functionality with it to be able to like have these can't be a little more sly in operations. But at the end of the day, you're probably a brawler. You're probably focused on being tough and protecting somebody, which to me all has the fighter stuff in it. And I think that's a really good way to do it. Is just kind of mix the two. Because like think about like Vax, right? Vax probably wouldn't be the bouncer of a bar.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
And that's what I think of when you think of bodyguard. It's just like big, intimidating. Like you want people to see you because you're like, I am the protection, I am the wall. All that fits into fighter for me. But you could still be a thematic rogue, right? The Thieves Guild probably has some big heavies.
Yeah.
And like bugbears are kind of the middle ground there because they're very stealthy. They have a lot of good things that could equate with shields because they have passive reach and stuff like that. So I think like a fighter or a champion bugbear could make a pretty cool rogue archetype. Yeah, ruffian, racketeer, rackets. I like it.
Yep.
Really strong strengths, really strong weaknesses. That can be a lot of fun. In my opinion, the peak of making a character is turning a fun character concept and min-maxing the strongest available versions. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I like having a strength, but I'm usually pretty happy middle of the road characters.
Yeah. I think that making the strongest version of the character is like it can be fun, but to me it's only fun once. And maybe it's because I'm mostly a GM, and so I build so many NPCs and have to think about this shit. But like I get tired of building the same min-maxed character over and over again really fast. So I tend to have more fun building unoptimized characters and making do. Although my art style is largely about making do, so I'm really comfortable in that headspace.
The other thing to kind of take into account, I will say, is like you don't have to min-max to be like optimized. Like you can pick something you want your character to do and build for it. Absolutely. When I think of min-maxing, I really think of like pushing that to the most possible almost game-breaking function you can. And I think that's a fun challenge that people like doing. But to me, it doesn't always, and like kind of think what you're saying, is that it doesn't always make the longevity of a character work.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So like if you have a character that does something really well, cool, and like you find different ways to use it. But if you have a character that is only working in one specific way, they're not versatile enough to be fun for a long time. So just something to watch out for. But I wish rogues could get sneak attack on light weapons. What?
They can?
I think that's the only way it works in 5e, isn't it? It's gonna have to be a lighter versatile weapon.
Like
Yeah.
Or finesse.
Finesse weapons.
Yep. Has to be light, finesse, or be able to be thrown.
Most thrown weapons are finesse and light anyway, so like but
Yeah.
they still cover their bases on that.
Oh, I like it because that also implies that you can have a rogue that uses like hand axes because have the light trait.
Ranged and finesse weapons. That doesn't seem right to me.
D&D, rogue, sneak attack.
I know in first edition Pathfinder there were no like finesse weapons, so it was only light weapons and thrown weapons.
The attack must be finesse or range weapons. Interesting. Hell, I don't play it that way. I don't care. Like, I've had rogues with battle axes before. Everything is totally fine.
Yeah. Jonas played a rogue in our Fae-themed Pathfinder campaign who had a greatsword.
Yep. I'd allow it. I absolutely allow it. Are there... I mean, maybe it's that they're... What light weapons are not finesse weapons?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's
I
like,
have no idea.
Thrown weapons don't count as ranged for some reason.
That's got to be incorrect because every thrown weapon comes with a range.
Each weapon is classified as either a melee or ranged. A melee weapon is used to attack, whereas ranged weapons are used to distance. Yeah, but that's...
But daggers are both.
A weapon that can be used to make a ranged attack has a range in parentheses after the ammunition or thrown property. Yeah, that's interesting. I would say if it's a melee with the ranged feature, then it's a ranged weapon. So. I think the stuff you're getting at is very kind of like rules as written debatable that I have just passively hand waved my entire life because it makes more sense to hand wave it. So.
Yeah, I think same.
Because yeah, daggers have finesse. So like, yeah, I think that's what it's like. Ranged or finesse should encompass most things. So like, I'm trying to figure out what you can't use.
a club. You can't use a club.
So that's interesting.
Rules as written, at least.
Yeah.
Because it just has the light trait.
That's interesting. What about short sword?
You can, because short swords are
Finesse?
short swords. Finesse and light. Yes.
Interesting. What about a blackjack?
Does not exist in 5th edition.
That might be the declarative then, because like in older editions, the sap or the like blackjack as a sap was the rogue weapon, and it used to be precision damage, which is really interesting, which they've changed. So now that sneak attack is just bonus damage on a turn. So there used to be a lot more restrictions on what kind of things could do precision damage.
Yeah. Well,
That's the other one is like sneak attacks with unarmed strikes and improvised weapons. Yeah, I also allow those. Because like the same thing, if you're just the sneak attack should be your ability. Are you proficient with the weapon? And then you are getting the attack on somebody. You're getting precise damage because you have the upper hand.
yeah. And that's how we worked the greatsword with Jonas. I was basically like, okay, so you have proficiency with this. You don't just want to like be able to sneak attack with any big old ass sword you find. Like this is your specific weapon, and you're trained in it. So sure, I'll give you sneak attack on it.
Yeah, because like if you sneak up on somebody and you stab them with a longsword, probably going to be a little more devastating than someone who's aware that you're standing behind them. I've never had a problem with people doing that. The things that can get away with it, specifically in older editions with Pathfinder, you get your sneak attack damage whenever the conditions are met. So like
on any attack that meets the conditions.
Yeah. So it's like shurikens do a D2 damage, which is like that's hot garbage, but when you do a D2 damage plus 8d8 or 8d6 precision damage every time you throw one, that's amazing.
yeah.
So at that point, like if you're using a two-handed axe, you can attack twice in a turn, which gives you a d12 twice, and then so it's 2d12 plus 12d6, or you can do You can do 4d2, which is way less than the Great Axe, and like 36d6. So it's like it's not equatable. It never seemed to matter if you had a big weapon or not. It's just depending on how you're using. So,
Yeah.
if you're a monk and rogue, you can do that raw. Okay, yeah. See, I think there is a way to do that. You still need a weapon to be finesse or ranged, not just dex based. Yeah, that sounds very strange to me.
And this is just literally a rule that is like everyone's like pretty much agrees on that you can sneak a deck with something that has the light trait, because like we said, most finesse weapons are also light weapons. There's like very few that are not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're frustrated with the restrictions, talk to your GM, see if you guys can come to an understanding, the way Jonas and I did about the greatsword.
So Jeremy Crawford says, the monk, not the rogue, is designed to be a class that deals more damage with unarmed strike. Classically, the rogue stabs you in the back. This is largely about preserving the difference in class archetypes that are part of D&D. Multi-class stacking is also a factor. So they purposefully wrote that out so people wouldn't flurry of blows backstab, apparently. I mean,
Jeez.
yeah. But smite and sneak attack stack, and smite with unarmed strike stack. Just the limit of smite sneak attack. Adding these again, it's about character archetype. Multi-class stacking, which is only a factor in the optional rules is used, doesn't drive our design. But we can consider it. Classically, rogues don't stab you or shoot you with their knees. 5-point palm exploding heart technique needs to happen. Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like they intentionally did that, which, like I said, from Pathfinder and 5th edition, which were much more multi-class friendly, those things should be viable. So 5e looks like it's specifically written out, which is interesting. It's not something I've thought about before. So I always just hand wave it. I don't care. So
I think I'm gonna do a little bit of color on this one.
I think I'm good. I think I might just hang out and chill.
Yeah, I'm almost done. I just want a little bit of color here and there.
Smite and unarmed strike doesn't work raw in 5e as well as it requires a melee weapon. Interesting, yeah. I've put smite on a ring, so I don't give a shit. So that's the thing. Like, there's two trains of thought. Like, if you really want to min max, then having those constraints is your challenge, right? Like, finding the things, because if all you want to do is just have the most damage possible, but you have to break the rules to do it, then what are you doing? Like, I never fully understood that about like people use like Game Genius and stuff and cheat codes in games. It's like, yeah, that's fun when you just want to be blatantly ridiculous, but you don't try to beat a world record using those cheats. But people do it. People do that all the time. And it's just like, that's not in the spirit of what you're trying to do. So both of those things can be fun, but they are separate.
Yeah. Though, if they were keeping with one D&D, not rangers, but pounds could then strike with range weapons, which I like the aesthetic of.
Yeah, absolutely. No, like a paladin using smite with an arrow. I love that. Mm-hmm. I've let people do it. It's so good. I have no problem with that. I've let people use smite with their hands. Just like I grapple them and then I just pump them full of holy energy, and it's like yes, yeah, smite them. Like it's good. It's flavor. On class changes in 1D&D. 1D&D not being out yet. I've seen a lot of the stuff. I don't have a lot of opinions built yet. Partially because I don't care. Like it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be a big change. But really, all they're doing with 1D&D is trying to make it more VTT friendly. Which in my mind is like, just build a good VTT and don't fiddle with stuff. But whatever. I'm playing a lot more Pathfinder. That's really how I'm changing. Oh, that's my worry for D&D 1 is I'm playing more Pathfinder. Smite Boxer has always been one of the things I've always wanted to do raw. Yeah, and I think the big thing that I'm getting back at here for this is like I don't care about raw. I've never been so worried about the rules because I've never played Adventure League. I'm very, very happy with a player coming up to me being like, "Hey, this is the way it works, but I think we should be able to do it this way." It's like, yeah, let's try it. Like, if somebody wants to try something or change something in the game, or you feel like something would work better if it was slightly different, I'll almost always let people try that in game, and if it feels right, we leave it. If it doesn't, then we change it. Like, it's tabletop RPGs are always about continuing to develop and design and iterate. And that could be because I started making my own board games before I started playing D&D back in the day, or even when we had D&D, we only had one book, so we had to make up a lot of the rules ourselves. But Smite during grapple makes me think of when Shazam fights Superman. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you have the holy power to rain down hellfire, like, just do it whenever. Why do you have to hit somebody with a sword first? So it's a lot of fun stuff.
All right, we can wrap up. I'm just gonna finish flatting in this one color behind my shade layer, and I'm done.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I confine myself to raw as there's no guarantee that the team will allow my choices better safe than sorry. That's what we're doing. Like I said, like that makes a lot more sense when people play raw. Sorry, not raw, but like when they're trying to min-max. Because like the whole point of a lot of my friends when they were trying to min-max stuff, it was technically by the rules I can X, Y, or Z. And it's just like, okay, let's see what happens. Like that was their challenge, and that was what they liked min-maxing for. But they would also like the specifically the person that I'm talking about would play like 2 or 3 sessions and then retire the character because they're just like, can I do this? Does it work? What happens in game? That's all I want to do. And I was like, cool. And so they just had a bunch of rotating characters, and that was fine. What does 8d6 mean? It means do you roll 8 times or do you roll d6 once and multiply it? You roll 8 d6s, so you roll 8 times.
Yeah, like rolling lava damage. If you have enough dice, 20 d6. You roll 20 different d6s, and oof, that's such a fun roll.
Yep.
Mostly because as the DM, you get to watch everybody at the table's face blanch in fear.
I think the most I've ever rolled is like 56 d6.
Oof.
That was pretty funny.
Yep.
That's
Are evil.
It might have been like 120 something at one point, but might have done 120 damage, I think is what I did.
Corvus, you knew I was evil before you started playing with me.
Did I? I don't know if I did.
I told you enough horror stories. You should have known from context clues. All right. I think I'm done.
Okay, cool. It's too many dice for us. I have 1 set of dice. Do I really have to roll 8 times? Yeah. I mean, the other alternative is go online and just tell the computer to do it. I think you can actually... Can you do it in chat? Maybe we have it in the Discord. No, we had the dice roller on Twitch. 50, 66. I didn't realize we played Shadowrun. Yeah, something like that. If you have a bag full of bombs, and then you ignite that bag full of bombs with a bunch of bombs, they stack. So if one bomb does 5d6 and you have 18 of them, you gotta add them all up. Necklaces of fireball, same thing. That's really funny. Necklaces of fireball are, I think they have like 12 fireballs on them of varying levels, and then if somebody blows those up, they all go off at once. Great way to kill a character. I've done it too many times. It's such a good trap, though. It's just like, oh, you find a necklace of fireballs, and people are like, yeah, I'm gonna wear that. It's like, all right. Let's see where that goes. I hope you don't bump into anything flammable. But Thanks again,
Yep.
everybody, for hanging out today. I do appreciate it. Go check out the last video. Go write a comment on your favorite video. Go check out the YouTube shorts. I do like the exploding dice is fun. It is a fun way to do it. But that's all I got. Let's see if there's anybody else hanging around on YouTube we can go hang out with. Next week, hopefully we'll have some videos coming out. We'll be working on some commissions again next week, as well as probably try to do the community day where people just can hang out and draw and doodle. So I'll put a post up for that on Monday as well with the viewer suggestion, and we'll go from there. Yeah, no one's around, so that's fine. Thanks again. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. Druid Corvus, thanks for hanging out with me today.
Yeah, I had fun.
And have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye.